What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Celtic Warrior Damon.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to episode 1. Welcome back, patrons, people who come have a drink with us, drinking buddies, wrestling buddies. We are Wrestling on the Rocks. That's right, where every show is our first show. Every episode is episode 1 because we can't move on until we get this right. And I'll tell you, today is not that day. We have not gotten it right.
No.
Today is not our day. I don't know how many times people saw us click live right now or not. It looks like we were live on Twitch or Twitter when we had no idea we were. Like, I don't know. Who knows what's going on today? All we know is it's only episode 1, so don't fret. Don't fret. Nothing to worry about. Only first episode.
No problems.
Whoops.
Guys, we are at WOTR, the show. This is Wrestling on the Rocks. I am at Ref Marsh. We got producer lady over yonder. Hello. Oh, my God. Producer
Hello.
here. Producer.
That's not what I sound like. This
No one
is what
said-
I sound like.
Yeah, no one said that's what you sound like. Producer. I don't sound like that. Boop. We
I guess
have
that's-
with us, as always, Amanda Jane. Say what's up.
What's up, people? We're technologically challenged today, and I blame part of it on me. But, you know, I'll take the heat. But it's only episode 1, so
Only episode 1. No big deal.
no big
Amanda
deal.
Jane with a Y.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're happy to have her. She slid into home. Her location, her filming location via satellite was out of power, so she made it work. She went all He-Man on it and did, I have the power! Made
And
it
a
work.
cheeseburger.
Oh, that cheeseburger will do it.
Yeah, hold
That
on.
gives me the power. That gets me
Let
revved
me-
up, I'll tell you.
Let me show. Wait, well, hold on. There you go. I'm on
There you
my work laptop. I don't want to drop it.
There you
I
go.
can give
There you
anyone
go.
the power.
And that's right. We have with us one more time, run it back, as they say. He did such a good job on episode 1, followed it up with another good job on, I believe it was episode 1 after that. And he is back here today for his debut again on episode 1 again.
Love it.
Justin, say what's up, man.
Yo, what's up, friends, drinking buddies, rest of the IWC. Just in time
right.
here. Back again once again.
The curator of the IWC, the Dawn of the IWC, of this side of the IWC. Just in time 211. So
Nice.
happy to have you. Happy to have you. The Dawn, I say.
Getting so many titles now, like, I'm going to lose track of them.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
you could change your Twitter little headline thing every day like the Bucks do. So I wouldn't blame you if you decided to go that route.
In my book, you're more over than the Bucks anyways.
Yeah.
What to say? Am I going to be more over than the Bucks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, let's start off simple, guys. I'll tell you, I'll go first. Today in my glass, I've got Elijah Craig small batch Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, hitting it again one more time. This was apparently, after we had it, I got a little message from Bishop from TW Takes Podcast, Terrible Wrestling Takes, to let me know this is his go-to, that he enjoys himself some Elijah Craig as well. So having this one for him. Speaking of Terrible Wrestling Takes, I'm going to throw this out here before we get into what's in your glass. Terrible Wrestling Takes TWT's podcast TWT podcast, TW Takes Podcast.com/TWTs. Oh, they'll find it. Keep Googling, you'll get there. Has a promotional code for us in the spirit of Klump not being here today, which is really funny because I don't think he's heard he's the only person who doesn't know yet. The promo code on twtakespodcast.com/TWTs for 25% off for all Wrestling on the Rocks listeners, drinking buddies, is Suck It Klump. One word, Suck It Klump.
Oh, it's
Klump
new
with a
one.
K. It's a new one. It is a new one. Fresh off the
Wow.
presses in Delaware.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give
Where
Delaware
the
that.
mailmen are off the fucking chain.
Yep. Yo, I just
We'll give
ordered a
Delaware
box of cigars. It's like my favorite cigar I've ever had. I just ordered a box of it, and shipping came up on it, and it's coming out of Delaware. And I was like, well, I'll be damned. Something good does come out of Delaware. So, all right. That's what's in my glass. Let's start with Amanda, and then we'll go to the guest of honor. Amanda, what's in your glass?
Since I'm in a not so secret location, there's no Sonic nearby again. I'm sad because I really want a slush. Yep. But I just have regular Coke in a bottle. So there's going to come a point in time where I'm going to walk away to go get one. And then I'll be back. And I have, obviously, a cheeseburger. A really nice one. Wagyu beef, Gruyere cheese, bacon. Yeah.
We
I'm living the life.
At any time, if you need to freeze frame or mute your mic to get a few bites of that burger in, do not let us stop you. That sounds delicious, and I'd be doing the same thing. So, especially as me and Justin do stuff, if you think there's a minute that you want to lay out and just have burger, fucking do it. Justin, what is in your glass?
So Amanda doesn't have her sponsored, not sponsored, but I still have mine. Sponsored, not sponsored. Pepsi, let me know. I will definitely come and let you I'll be your voice.
I thought it was watermelon Mountain Dew. Is it not?
Yeah, it is, but it's from Pepsi.
Oh.
Pepsi makes Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Why isn't it
That's weird.
Pepsi Dew or something? Why isn't it Pepsi Dew?
It's distributed to Pepsi. That's all I know.
All right. So CM Punk's got to deal with them. There's no reason Pepsi shouldn't have more commercials with CM Punk, so far as I can tell. But fantastic. You guys are having your soda. I'm having my bourbon. Guys, it's not about what you're drinking. It's about who you're drinking with over here in the dive bar of the IWC. As long as you're here with your drinking buddies, I don't care what you're drinking. So we're glad to have all you guys here with us today. Glad to have Justin Time back. Glad Amanda could make it with the power. Cheers to everybody for what's in your glass to begin with. Oh yeah. A lot of news today. What do you got over there?
I don't have a glass yet, but I'm kind of eyeing the peanut butter whiskey that we've got.
Little screwball.
Good choice.
That sounds so good.
Good choice.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's so good.
And I salute y'all with my cheeseburger.
Yeah, Amanda usually has her slushy. Amanda usually has her slushy and Stoli, and every time I drive by a place with slushy like EG's over here in Arizona, I think of it. I think of Amanda, and I'm like, damn, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
One day when Amanda makes it out this way.
Well, you know what? Who knows? Who knows on this crazy world tour of life?
Right? And everybody's opening up. WWE said that by Money in the Bank, by SummerSlam, that they're going to be touring again. AEW's already announced that they've got tour dates going. They're getting people back in. It's happening. So hopefully sometime this year, the three of us can all have a drink together somewhere in this town. And by this town, I mean the IWC as a town. So somewhere in the world. Who knows? Who knows? You're going to have the screwball.
So it'll be like Cheers, a place where everyone knows their name.
Yeah, who's the norm of the gang?
Probably Kev. He's got a tab. He owes.
Okay.
Lee Moonlight coming through. Hi-yo, kiddos. Cheers to Lee Moonlight. Thank you for coming through. But guys, there was a lot of news. A lot of news that's happened here. Whole bunch of stuff's happening. So let's talk some of it. Unless there's anything else, was there anything else you guys wanted to hit on so far?
No.
Nope.
Well, let's just dive in. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Swan dive. Let's do it.
Let's start. We'll start with a thing that should. No, I'm not going to say it. But here's what we'll start with. In Japan, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship has been vacated due to Will Ospreay getting a neck injury that he is not going to be able to get back into action to for quite some time. So the title has been vacated just after he won it. They made a huge deal of that that butterfly looking belt. Looked a lot like Cody's tattoo. So, but Will Ospreay, he hurt his neck. The thing I find ironic about that, just to throw it out there, is the last couple matches I've seen of his, I was like, wow, he's put on a lot of size. And the people I was watching it with said, yeah, he's trying to have a lot less dangerous style. He wants to have a longer career, so he's going to stop doing a lot of the flip stuff. So he's trying to be more grounded so he doesn't get hurt. So he's putting on all this weight to protect his neck and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Maybe we'll see some cool stuff coming out of him. And then what happens? Fucking hurt his neck. And I was like, it didn't work, I guess. Like, it's fucking nuts. I didn't see the spot, I don't think. I don't believe I saw the spot where he broke his neck, but maybe I did and just didn't realize it. Let's start with Amanda. Let's let her get it off her chest. What do you think, Amanda, about all of this?
Okay. So,
Here it comes.
out of some respect, I did not unlike some people on the IWC were laughing about it and like, well, you know what, when when you're kind of a douche canoe, whatever, I didn't say anything, but it reminded me of something I said probably about, I want to say around the time when WrestleMania was in Orlando this last time. But I didn't go to that stuff. I only went to WrestleCon. And I remember watching Will, and I said, that mofo is gonna break his neck. And I'm not I wasn't predicting it or anything. So please, people, don't think that I have voodoo, because I do voodoo, because I don't. But I always thought that, he doesn't have control of his moves. I'm going to use Ricochet as an example. Ricochet, he can do all of these things. They do about almost the same move set, but there's a difference. Ricochet is controlled, and it doesn't ever seem like it's chaotic. So if you're in the ring with someone like, okay, let's say I'm gonna pick on Hiromu, okay, another one who has that same kind of flippy, but not set. Again, it's like you got to remember who you're working with and whatever. But I know he wants to be the best in the world. Okay. He wanted to be a heavyweight. He gained his weight. One of the things that I noticed, and I made a lot of fun of it, you can look on my Twitter in the history if you type in ocean spray and then, weight gain or whatever. I had said, what's he going to do? Because he's gaining all this weight and trying to do a 450 when you've got maybe 30, 40 pounds more stuff on your body. There's got to be some kind of learning curve. And I always thought that after he did that, he looked kind of botchy, more so than normal.
He didn't slow
you
down.
Can fight, you can at me, and I will, it's not because, there's three things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and girl beats Osprey. Not saying that, but that's not coming from that end. But I'm just saying, I think that it's a shame. Yeah. But then it's like, what? It makes people like him, Sammy Guevara, a lot of those guys, because Sammy's really changed his move set more so than Will has. And I know Sammy's I always say, he's one concussion away from not being able to do this anymore. So sucks on the neck injury. I don't know how severe it is. Obviously, it's severe enough that he's going back to the UK. So this is going to be rare for me. So everybody record this. I wish him well.
Yeah, I do wish for a speedy recovery, but I agree with the aspect of we've talked about it before. I believe it was in episode 1, if you go back into our archives. The Ricochet moves so fluidly that it's almost unnatural how natural he looks. You see people and you know that they have to get where they're going. You'll see someone to adjust in a certain way, and you see none of that with Ricochet. To me, he is the single best mover to physically move in the ring than anyone I've ever seen in the history of wrestling. He gets where he has to get, doing insane things that just make sense. He makes the most sense of his movement. If he's got to flip over you and be in that other corner, he's going to make it look like he has to flip over you to get to that corner because he's about to attack you from the other side. And then if there's some sort of reversal, you know what I mean? Like he never looks like he's waiting for someone. He never looks like he's getting in position for someone. And he always is waiting and getting into position for people. You know what I mean? But you can't tell. But just knowing how wrestling's put together, you know that has to be happening. But the way he moves never leads you on to that. And it's absolutely outstanding. And we've talked about it before. That was one of my things with him versus Ospreay, as you said, that I never got that impression from Ospreay. I felt like he was so overly choreographed that he looked like he was getting exactly where he needed to be and making sure he was somewhere else. It looked heavily choreographed, where Ricochet looks incredibly natural. And I even said, if Ospreay can figure out how to move as naturally as Ricochet, he's got everything else down.
Yeah.
It's like you said, though, when you put on that much weight and you don't slow down and you keep doing that stuff. I'll say this. When I heard he vacated the title because of a broken neck, the one thing I did not feel was shock. Exactly. I felt bad for the guy. I felt sad. I was like, that sucks. He just won it. He was obviously going to be going on a tear. Japan doesn't invest in I don't want to say foreigners, but Gaijin. They don't invest in them a little bit. You're either just kind of in the card somewhere, or you're in the world title picture going somewhere with them. They don't give you the world title as a gag on the way there. There's no Gaijin Miz who just gets the title for a week and drops it. Like if you're getting the title, they're backing you, they're behind you. So I thought that sucks for him. It's so bad. But the one thing I did not feel for a second was shock. I wasn't like, how could this happen? I was like, oh, I wonder if I saw it happen. Like, which kind of sucks to say, but.
I mean, that's mean of me to say that, but it's kind of true. It's like, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that I wished him well just now, but also
you don't want the guy. He can be an asshole. You don't want something to happen. Like the New Jack thing. Yeah, we talked about it before. Some people were shitting on the idea of New Jack, of people saying R.I.P. New Jack. Well, fuck off. Yeah. Like, he didn't have to be a good person, but you don't want a family to lose a loved one at the end of the day. He's still a human. Exactly. So yeah.
But also too, it's kind of sad because now they gave him a faction. And so that leaves those three guys kind of high and dry right now. Like, do you go on? Because who knows how long he's going to be out, or if he's going to come back. Yeah. So
you don't know. Depending on the severity, that could be it. Like, who knows?
Yeah, wasn't that like Nikki Bella's thing?
Nikki Belly, Nicabella, Nicka Rooney, Nick Bella, Diva Bella.
Forget it.
I don't know. I'm not even a drink in, and I'm sounding like Bishop on episode 1. Let's pitch it over to Justin. We have not heard about oh my god, Justin, fucking what do you say? Whatever you want, Justin, just take it.
I mean, I wasn't really shocked. I kept hearing about how he was putting on more weight and that he was actually adapting, like changing his style up, and I was really like more interested on just where he was going, like what he was going to do with the world title. And now that it just feels like it got cut short this soon, it just sucks for him. And I hope he recovers quick. I hope it's not like too extreme, but I hope New Japan has something in mind for him for the title, because I'm hoping it's going to be a tournament. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be
I only
cool.
have one person in mind. That's it, to win it. That's it.
Who do you have in mind?
I'd say give it to Shingo.
Yeah.
Who do you want to give it to, Amanda?
As long as it doesn't end up on Jay White again for the 700th time.
No. I'd like to see it either on Shingo, because I think he's just amazing. I would still laugh about his junior, Best of Super Juniors run. It's not a Super Junior. Come on, people. Or the other one is, I'd love to see Murder Grandpa with it.
Oh, that'd be good.
Ooh.
What do you think about the possibility of this? Because we know that there's a relationship there. We know that titles have moved between there before because he's a former IWGP heavyweight champion. Because he's currently the belt collector, do you think there's any chance they put it on Kenny as a transitional thing because it's a believable thing that AEW can exploit? Do you think Tony has enough money to do that? Because I'll tell you,
well, his dad does, not Tony.
Well, that's a good point. No, Tony definitely does not. The question's not if Tony's got it. It's the question is his dad going to fork it over?
Like, Dad,
is he going to sell another yacht for this?
Soccer team. Sell the footy team, Dad. Yeah.
Sell the footy team.
Yeah.
So, do you think that's possible? Because there is the forbidden door is open. Moxley's your current U.S. title holder, and he hasn't dropped the title back, and he hasn't even been back to Japan since he got it. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's possible that they work out something here where, hey, we have kind of a unique opportunity? Mm-hmm. It may not have been in the plans, but is it something we can all capitalize on? I don't know. I just think that the conversation's probably happening. If I had to venture a guess.
Could be.
Yeah, but aren't they still salty though about
I don't know.
Kenny not coming back in the Bucks?
Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I thought there was a huge issue there with the Bucks and the NJPW because of how they were treated there, because no one in NJPW thought they were as good as they thought they were. You know what I mean? That they were always like a mid card at best. They were never booked strong in Japan, and the reason super kick parties happened is because they didn't even want to fucking do half the shit they had to do, so they just did super kicks endlessly, and they made a joke out of it. Like, well, if we do 1,000 super kicks, we can get out of this match more or less. Like, their whole thing in Japan was that they weren't respected by the people there, the audience, or the company. So I thought they would have so much bad blood that they wouldn't go back or even open that door, but apparently that's not the conversation, right? So just because the Young Bucks don't go back, just because they may not have any relationship with Young Bucks, NJPW was always behind Kenny. Oh, yeah. Kenny is nobody without NJPW, which could be said about other people. I'm not trying to say that as a dig. I'm saying that as a good thing. I thought that Ospreay was going to be the next Kenny Omega, the next person people say is the best in the world. Oh, God, no. I thought he broke his neck, so we don't know now.
I agree with Marsh there, Amanda. So.
Yeah, I know. My heart's like, no, but I know in reality that's where it was going. But
that's where it was going.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do I currently agree that Kenny Omega is the greatest wrestler in the entire world? No.
No, not anymore.
Not even a little bit. He's not even in my top 5 if I had to put together a top 5. He's not even in my top 5 if I isolate it to only men. He's probably not even my top 5 if I isolate it to AEW. I don't think he's that great. But that's just my view of how I watch his matches and the level of which I'm not impressed by his matches. That's not to say the capability's not there. It's not to say he hasn't had tremendous matches I haven't loved. As it stands right now, that's not how I feel about Kenny Omega. So if someone were to say that about Ospreay in the middle of a run like this, I would say I understand your argument. Because I understand the argument behind Kenny. I get it. When people say that, I know why you say that. I don't think we need to have an argument about it. I just don't agree. And I think that's fine. You know what I mean? We want different things in our wrestling. But with that in mind, they have an opportunity here which wasn't there before. That may not have been even on the table, but now, hey, you have a vacant title. We have a former world champion from there. We're doing this thing with Impact. We've shit all over the Impact titles already, so they already seem lesser than. What if we actually put on a title that actually meant something that we couldn't really shit on? And we're not getting the NWA title. I don't think Nick Aldis has given it up. It's his entire identity. Without that title, I don't know that Nick Aldis exists. He dissolves like the photograph in Back to the Future.
That's not true. He would totally dissolved had they had Aldis Skrull too.
Right. He could have survived that. If he loses it to Kenny, it's like fucking Thanos. He just fucking into dust.
That's the best. I would love to
Aldis
see that.
needs that title right now, and I think that's fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Well.
And Aldis can block me on Twitter. He blocks everyone else, I guess. But
I'm blocked.
I see. Yeah, he blocks everybody on Twitter. I'm not concerned about it. To be honest, I don't pay to watch him wrestle anyways. So, but I did once before, and to be honest, when I left, I thought, God damn, how good was Trevor Murdoch? You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is Nick Aldis's identity is wrapped in the NWA title. So I don't think that they're going to get that on Kenny. But
No.
you have a vacant title in NJPW and a title that is impossible to shit on.
Yeah.
Without really fucking up a lot of relationships. And to be honest, the way they've shit on the Impact titles, the AAA title,
Yeah.
those companies have nothing to gain, nothing to lose by letting them shit on it. Because they're like, well, at least people know about the title. Believe me, their audience knows about IGPW, GPW. They can't shit on it. So it would add a level of prestige to Kenny, is what I'm saying. And I just think it's a conversation that might happen. I don't know.
Well, at least he would get away from this kind of jokey, whatever kind of wrestling it is, you know, because honestly, like,
Yeah.
when I hear he's wrestling, I'm like, oh God, okay. It doesn't excite me. You know, I mean, I personally think that there's stuff that's better on Dark and Elevation than watching Kenny on Dynamite.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yano shrug, since we're talking about New Japan.
I don't know, Justin. What do you think about that? And do you want to try and say why you think it should go to, who'd you say, Scooby? What? I didn't catch the name. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna keep that one as a backup now with Kenny because I mean I wouldn't be the biggest fan of it, but if it happens, it happens. It still keeps the legitimacy of the world title for them, and they're putting it on Kenny, somebody who they've trusted for longest time. So even after he left, they probably still are buddy with Kenny and all that shit. So
yeah,
but. So I'll definitely keep that one as a backup just in case. Because if it happens, I'm gonna be like, "Well, Marsh was right."
Right. Well, I think it could happen. I don't know. I don't know if I would like it or not. It might be neat.
But I think Shingo, because after hearing about him having that match with Ospreay, and from what I've seen him when he wrestles, my God, he is freaking great. Junior heavyweight, my ass. That fucking guy is a heavyweight. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? Yeah,
he moves like a junior heavyweight, but my God, he's built like a heavyweight. He's the definition of when Bray Wyatt was Husky Harris with the army tank with a Ferrari engine.
Oh yeah,
that's him.
Yeah,
that's Shingo in a nutshell for me. And I think they need to put the title on him. Don't revert instantly to Okada, because I don't know how many more times you can give Okada the championship.
Yeah, he's going away anyway soon. So, but I don't know. But I think like with Shingo, the matches that he had with Jeff Cobb, holy bullshit. Yeah, I'm like they were.
I love those matches.
Yeah, those were great. I think those were some of the best of the year that New Japan put out last year, I think.
Yeah, I'd definitely say put it on somebody different than just the general obvious same people of resorting to Okada, resorting to Naito. Just start putting it on someone different.
Don't put it on Coda. Yeah, don't Jay White it. Don't Coda it. Do somebody that's different. And I think that would probably be the best, because I don't think that, I'm just trying to think of everybody on that roster. And I really think that if you don't put it on Sonata and have Sonata leave LIJ, because I always thought Sonata was going to be the one to leave LIJ, because he was always been rumored to be the one who they were grooming to be the next Okada. But, I don't know. It's weird, but I'd rather...
Evil leaving to me was still the weirdest one.
Yeah, but I think, I definitely... See, that's what I'm thinking about with Murder Grandpa. I mean, how much more does the guy have? Well, I mean, Jesus. I mean, he probably can do this until he's like 80, like one of those little old Japanese guys, at the bathhouse. But, I think, don't ask me where I get these visuals from. I just can't see it. I don't know. I'm afraid of him. Okay. I admit I am afraid of him. I know I saw him at one of the WrestleCons, and I looked over and I was like, oh, it's Murder Grandpa. And I kind of said it to myself, not very loud. And then he gives me this big smile, and I just like turned around and walked the other way. I was like, oh, God, that's scary. So, and he's really nice to, when you meet him, apparently he loves the lady fans who come and chat with him apparently. Yeah, because all the men say he's mean. I go, how come the women he's always nice to them? I go, I don't know. I don't know.
It's Flair type. I got it.
Yeah. But yes.
Let's see. Mons is coming through the chat saying, "Yo, what's up, guys? Mons, thanks for coming through again, man. We always appreciate having a repeat drinking buddy." He says, "I see he a lady boy." LOL. Yeah. I've heard similar things about JR too. That sometimes he's a little snippy with dudes, and then the ladies come up and goes, "Oh, you like me?" And you're like, "Okay, everybody relax. Everybody calm down." I don't know. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was pretty nice, the producer.
And a Clump, though.
Well, he liked Clump because he wanted to wrestle Clump.
Oh,
But he liked the producer because he wanted to wrestle, I think. All right. Let's see. I just think those are. I mean, I like the idea of those things. The other thing we haven't talked about, as far as the vacant title, what about all the releases that have happened in the past little while? Is there a possibility of a tournament with a surprise entrant that goes on to make a big splash in NJPW? We'll go through some of the releases now, because there's new releases from there was the ones that happened the other day that we talked about that I don't remember thinking it was a massive surprise on some of them, except for Joe. Can you imagine a Samoa Joe over there?
yeah.
I mean, that could be fucking wild.
So well.
I really think you should go to AEW though, to be honest.
To do what?
Yeah, he could clean that up. You know?
You can snap that shit in the I guess.
Yeah.
Here is the releases that happened today.
Oh.
None of them stand out as potential NJPW, except maybe one. So starting off, Drake Wurtz was released, the referee who had a lot of things going on.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
Yep. Actually, this happened yesterday, but there was one release today. So Drake Wurtz is gone, and that happened. Alexander Wolff is gone, which is surprising because as we talk about NXT here in a minute, he had a match on the show, but he's no longer with the company. He's one I could see going to NJPW and making a splash potentially, but maybe not. Kavita Devi, which I believe was their first Indian-born woman who was signed, I believe, if I remember correctly, and so she's gone. This one was kind of a surprise to me. Brandy Lauren / Skylar Story was her name that she never even got to debut with, but that was her official WWE name.
Oh, Janela's girlfriend.
Yeah, I was surprised because I thought she had a good look. I've seen a match of hers, and I thought she showed a lot of promise. Yeah. I thought that I could see what I saw it, and I went, oh, I see what they see. And this must be really cool for her to be able to work with the people she's going to get to work with. And then let her go before she ever made it on TV. So I don't know what happened there, and I was actually pretty surprised by that.
Remember, she was once.
What?
Remember, she was on TV once. She was one of the women in the hot tub with Damian Priest.
Yeah, she was on TV in the hot tub, and then she was also at Raw Underground. She could be seen in the audience there a couple of times, but she was never even in the ring. So, Jake Clemmings was let go. He was the referee from Evolve that they brought in. He famously did the referee spot with Seth Rollins where he cheated for Kevin Owens, and then Kevin rips his shirt, and he's got a Seth Rollins shirt underneath it. I was surprised to see him go because that guy, I have a DVD from Jimmy Corderas called Refereeing 101, and it's a seminar he put on. And he goes over a lot of like the basic rules of wrestling, how to handle being in front of a TV, how do you work a hard cam versus the other cams. He talked about how do you square off to get the right vision in difficult situations. Like, it was really interesting and a really cool one. And then he even said in a few parts of it, he goes, what I am telling you guys is strictly how you do it on a WWE level and what that company likes. He goes, I didn't have much, he didn't have a lot of interaction outside of that. That's his bread and butter. That's where he learned it. That's what he knows. When he does indie stuff now, it's based off of that information. So it was really cool to see that. But one of the people in that DVD, in the audience, in the group, in the ring with him was Jake Clemmings. And I was like, holy cow, that's the guy from Evolve. No wonder he's so clean in the ring and one of the guys I look up to as a referee. But they let him go. He did one main event, I believe. And I mean main event as in it was like 205 Live. He did a 205 Live match.
What's that?
And that was it. So I don't know what's going on there. I was bummed by that and surprised. Ezra Judge, who was known as EJ Nduka. I've seen him all around online, but I'm not familiar with him. The dude looks jacked, and he's got a great look, but I don't know enough about him. Jessamine Duke, one of the 4 horsewomen of the MMA.
Really interesting.
That one surprised me.
That one was surprising. Vanessa Bourne was let go. She did tagging with like Aaliyah, and I believe she tagged with Liv Morgan for a minute, and she did largely nothing. And she put out a video. She was kind of nice, kind of smarmy, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. I wasn't. But the last one who was released today was Velveteen Dream.
I'm sure everybody was so excited about that one because people have been calling it for over a year now.
Yeah, they've been asking for him to be released for a long, long time. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it sounds all shitty, right? But from the honest perspective of what do we know as a Twitter gang, I would say that there's just as much to support the idea of he really is shitty as to also support the idea that he was convicted by people without any information, right? Like, the IWC mobbed up in a way that's like, I don't know if there was ever going back for him anyways, regardless of innocence or guilt, just because of the look of stuff that we saw. And some of the stuff that we saw, people had debunked as being like just complete photoshops. Absolute fakes. And so I don't know what's real and what's not. All I know is that I don't know what's real and what's not. So to me, one of the downsides of this is we'll never really know if it was true or if there was just no getting away from it anymore, if the damage was done, regardless of truth. And if that's true, that sucks. The thing that also sucks about it, just to see someone who was doing so well, as much as I didn't like Velveteen Dream at any point, like you can go back to any of our archives where we review a Velveteen Dream match. I never liked any of them. And it's documented. I'm not saying that to be like, oh, look at, I knew this. No, I didn't like his matches. I didn't like him as a character. I didn't like any of that. But regardless of that, he was huge. He was over. People loved him. People were calling for him to go to the main roster. And I kept saying, I don't see it. It's not my thing, but sure. It just sucks to see someone go through a downfall like that, right? Like, if it's true, it's good he's gone. If it's not true, it sucks that the mobs did him in. And if it's true, what a bummer for someone to ruin their own fucking life that way, you know? Like, fuck. It sucks when you see wasted potential. And I'm coming from a weird place right now, I'll tell you, because some weird shit's happened in my personal life lately, and I've seen a lot of wasted potential, decisions made by people and substances that you go, the only thing stopping you is your fucking self. Like, so it was just one of those things too where I looked at this and said, man, the fucking wasted potential is the sadness here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, I get celebrating that he's gone. If all that stuff's true, yeah, fuck him. Yeah. You know, but
yeah, but I'll agree.
I mean, even if it's true,
yeah,
even if it's true, fucking wasted potential. But go ahead, Amanda, say what you like to say, and then pitch it over to Justin.
Yeah, like I think that with this whole thing, it's like the internet community is a big gang. Okay, and there's also a lot of, I will say, they contradict themselves too, I guess you would say. So one person who's been a known person who sends dick pics and hits on underage women or girls is TJP. Yeah. A lot of people
that's up to here.
Yeah, and
dude, I've seen a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah. And those tweets and stuff were never debunked. So they were legit. But, he's doing his thing. And then you have, I know I don't want to go into Marty, but, everyone knows my thoughts about Marty. There was nothing else. So how come one little thing makes him a pedophile when it was in his country, it was okay? And I know people are like, oh, but that's still a child. I'm like, no, because you know what? When I was 16, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people can agree with me with this. If not, then I don't know. And also because I am from another generation. But when I was 16, yeah. So
yeah.
I was out there.
It's awful, but
yeah.
I remember being like the only kid in my high school who wasn't sleeping around, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? How am I not? How do I get a part of this? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I knew a lot of people in high school who were sleeping with people much older than them too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I even an ex of mine had a younger sister who at 16 was doing up her makeup and going to restaurants that had bars attached. Because she's like, if I do my makeup right, they don't check your ID when you just wander into the bar, and then I'm good. And she was going home with dudes all the time from the bar. And I mean, I remember sitting her down and being like, you got to please stop this, because if the wrong fucking person like figures it out, like that's their life is over because you wanted to dick around. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that shit happens all the time. So, I mean, I guess it just makes for a gray area in the story. So I don't know about any of that.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Like TJP over in Impact, he's been pretty fucking rambunctious online, and a lot of people have pointed at it, and still no one's calling for arms there.
And
I mean,
and NJPW, because he's on the NJPW USA program.
yeah.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. But I don't want us to get back into the weeds of like who does what and stuff like that. But the story in and of itself of Velveteen Dream being let go, I do see a lot of hurrah, and I kind of felt a sadness in that, like, I mean, let's hit the chat real quick and we'll pitch it over to Justin, because Splinter Fox says it over here. But Mons does say, I actually love the idea for a Grand Prix. And he goes, and the winner will compete in the NXT Championship. I think he means IWPG, but maybe he means NXT. And Splinter Fox says, dream to NJPW, which I also think is possible, but I don't know. And then Mons says, but God, we need Nia versus Jack's main event of WrestleMania. I think I'm missing something there. I think maybe just Nia Jax in a main event. And Spinner Fox says your only worst enemy is you. And I mean, that's kind of my feeling on that whole thing, is that like, fuck, this guy had so much unlimited potential. I mean, kind of like Teddy Hart. Like, it sucks when you see people so young with so much talent and possibility, and then they just fuck it up. Spinner
Teddy
Fox
Hart's
says,
an interesting person. Let's just
yeah,
say that.
I mean,
It sucks for him because he's really good.
He is really good.
yeah. Yeah, 100%. And then Splinter Fox says TJP, where I see his name. Yeah, he was in WWE Cruiserweights for a while. He's on Impact now. He's an NJPW thing. Because I thought he had a girlfriend and a kid. I don't know about that, but I know some of the other stuff's been going around. Splinter Fox says Teddy's a great example. Yeah. And Mon says it means Eva versus Nia Jax. Yeah, Eva Marie Nia Jax main event WrestleMania. I'm here for it. But yeah, wasted potential at young ages is something I've been seeing in my personal life, as well as seeing these. It's just, for me, it's more of a bummer than anything. I don't feel bad for like I said, if it's true, there's only so much you can feel bad for, where you go, well, you fucking did it, man. But there is something that's been, maybe because I'm old and sentimental, that's starting to see like fucking wasted potential as a tragedy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But Justin, what do you think about all this?
I'm in the same boat as you. I started to fall out with Velveteen Dream. Like, I was fine with Dream for a little while, but I started to just he got to this just point where I got tired of him. He got boring over the time. Like, but it's one of those innocent until proven guilty, guilty until proven innocent things. Like, yeah. Well, it's just something we're never gonna know, until then. Yeah. Like, it's like with the Enzo thing. Like, we didn't know anything about that. We all assumed he was guilty, and then we found out he was innocent. Eventually, I feel like it'll be the same thing with Velveteen Dream. Eventually, one of these days, we'll find out if he's innocent or guilty. Either that, or we won't at all.
But even that, some of the Enzo stuff I've seen back and forth too, and I think at the end of the day, a lot of it's like, I don't want to say none of our business, but a lot of it's like we don't fucking know enough to make it our business. Like, a lot of that shit's handled in courtrooms and with lawyers, and a lot of the shit's fucking hearsay, and we all want to pretend like we have enough information to know exactly what happened. And unless you're in the room, you don't know what happened. You can say stuff's painted real bad. I mean, there's people who wrongfully convicted all the time because you can paint a story that looks real bad. Then other stuff can come out and you go, oh, apparently that wasn't the case at all. Like, I've watched a dozen documentaries about people wrongfully convicted and then being proven innocent. And it just comes down to like, hey, that's just who they picked, and that's just, it was easy to paint the picture, and so here we go. So I'm not saying any of that stuff didn't happen. And I'm not defending the guy. I'm speaking as the dive bar of the IWC. Speaking to my drinking buddies out there, that when we look at things like speaking out, and when people talk about things like cancel culture and people want to correct it and say we want it to be accountability culture, and I agree with that concept, I think there's a level of accountability that falls on both sides. We can demand accountability. We should also know what that accountability looks like. And we should also know the information we're demanding it from is reliable. And if we don't, we need to step away and allow the system and the people involved to deal with that. It's not our business to deal with some of that stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I 100% think that if it's true, he needs to be held accountable. Absolutely. What does the accountability look like? In this instance, I agree with the idea of if this is true, he doesn't need to be a member of the WWE roster. He needs to be let go. That's accountability with an action attached to it. A lot of times people just say, this weird thing happened, I want his head, or this weird thing happened, let's do whatever we can to ruin their life. And it's like, you need to have like an end goal, right? Or a lot of times they're just spreading the word to spread the word. And you're like, okay, but what do you want? On a much lesser level, like the whole Mickey James and garbage bag thing. What do you want? All you said is, this is how I got it and it's unacceptable. Okay. Yeah. Let's agree on that. But what's next? What is acceptable? Because you never gave us that. They never showed us what they thought would have been the right answer. You just said this isn't right. You have to also provide with, I would have felt better if it was this. And if what would have made you feel better is absolutely ridiculous, at least it opens up the conversation to say, where's the middle ground where we both feel like this is the right thing? But when all you say is, look at this, it's wrong, and you don't say this would make it right, then what's the conversation? What are we doing?
Exactly.
Does that make sense? Amanda, you always drink with me. Let's ask Justin. Justin, am I making any sense here?
Yes, it makes complete sense. The only reason why I think people were so quick to go down on Dream before they figured out anything about it being true or not was because he did nothing to even come out and try to defend himself. Yeah. He did nothing to even go out and try to defend himself. And that is what immediately put it in everyone's mind that he's guilty. All he wanted it to do was, it's out there. All he wanted it was just to somehow get swept under the rug and completely forgot about. But again, we have no idea what any of it is. And I feel like him getting released was the smart thing, because until we can even get a clear answer on any of it, it's safer to be ahead of it and have him out without, having to deal with all this shit.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I guess even in that scenario, hey, maybe you cut ties and say, hey, fuck, get this shit sorted out, but I don't know, man. Yeah, it's all a bit messy. It's all a bit weird. Splinter Fox is in the chat too. Let's see. Mont says, sometimes wasted potential is something you can't control. Like injuries happen, shit happens. Next thing you know, until you are the nemesis. And yeah, sometimes there's that too. Like I've known people before where they got into a car wreck, they ended up on opioids, and they never got off of them. And you don't know how that's gonna go. And it just sucks when you see it. Sprinter Fox does say, I mean, have a life, but social media will get you if you let it. Just stay away from social media. And I agree with the sentiment of that. I do think, what was it? Naomi had a great post today. Something about how to brand yourself. And one of her like bullet points was something about do not use social media leisurely. Like it's a business thing. You use it with intent and you get off. Right? Where like Splinter Fox is saying, if you get yourself just dicking around on social media for a long time, you can end up in weeds and get yourself in trouble, walking ass backwards into something, or who knows. If you're in there and you make a stupid decision because you're drunk one night and you thought, hey, no one will ever know anyways. Maybe it was innocent, maybe it wasn't, but you fucking did it and now it's out there. Yeah, maybe just stay the fuck away from it unless you have an intent with it, right? Spinner Fox does say, remember Matt Riddle thing? I mean, I think that is worst. He was cheating, but whatever. That's just it too. I mean, that story seemed all over the place too, and it was one of those things where it's all like, I just want those guys to figure that shit out. Yeah. I don't know that it's my responsibility to figure out this shit. I watch wrestling because it's fun to watch, because I get to see zombies eat the Miz. You know what I mean? I didn't even like it, but it's like, yeah, that can happen. Am I sitting there going, I wonder what those zombies do on social media? I wonder if that zombie cheated on his wife. No. You know what I mean? Like, it's none of my fucking business.
And it doesn't, I think also with social media, it also does not allow you to go to basically kind of stalk and seek out people who differ from your opinion, to, you know, to belittle them and tell them that, you know, you're disgusting, you're trash. I get this all the time in my Instagram. And, you know, I'm just kind of like, you know what, if you're going to take the time to do that out of your day or whatever, that's pathetic. So I think worse of you than you probably think worse of me, because why would you go do that? No sense.
Yeah. I think the first
Someone
person we
buys
blocked
more.
on our Instagram, I posted a picture of me in like a Heart Foundation ugly sweater, and I got these bright pink Bret Hart socks, and I put on a Bret Hart shirt, and I fucking tucked my pants into my socks to just look absolutely ridiculous. And we took a picture of me by the fireplace with the winged eagle title. I have a replica title, and I just made like a stupid face, and I was all like, just hanging out at the house, you know, like. Someone did some things like, this is like, there's so much ugly about this picture, and producer like responded with something all like, oh yeah, we got the sweaters thing. Is like, that's not what I'm talking about. And then she's like, I kind of want to rip him apart. And I was like, I kind of think you should just block him and move on. Like, the dude's taking time out of his day to try to make us feel bad, and I don't feel bad about it. It's funny. Everyone I know laughed about it, and I was laughing too because it was funny. It was a gag.
It sounds funny.
And if your idea, right? And if your idea is that you're going to talk enough shit to make me feel bad about making a joke, it's not going to work. And I'm not going to give you the time. And I'm not going to give you the platform. I'm not going to be your horn. You're blocked. You can never see or interact with us again. Your platform may be lesser or more than mine. I don't know. But the thing is we're not going to share a platform anymore. You know what I mean? And I think, I don't know. So I agree with you on that one, Amanda. If people take the time out of the day to do that shit, it's like, what's the matter with you?
To put this to bed, I'll say this. It'll be interesting to see if Velveteen Dream is on the alumni page on WWE.com. If he's not, then, you know, that's why.
Yeah.
If he is, you know, I don't know what to say. So, but it'll be interesting to see.
It's true. Jeremy Stevens in the chat says WWE were stuck in between a rock and a hard place. If they kept Dream, they would have looked bad for keeping someone with a bad past. And if they fired him and he was proven innocent, they would have fired him for no reason. Firing him seems to be the right thing to do, though. And that was part of the thing with Enzo, right? Was the stuff was coming out about him, and they pulled him into the office because he told a story on one of his interviews. And they asked him about it, and he said it wasn't true, this and that. And they ultimately let him go, saying because he went through his lawyers before talking to their lawyers that they didn't want to be a part of any of it. And since he wasn't upfront about any of it to begin with, they couldn't trust him and he had to go, more or less, right? I don't know how if any of that plays into here, but I'm saying that like sometimes it comes down to weird little bits like that. Like you said, we've heard since then that the stuff was dropped, so we don't know what's real or not. Enzo's still fighting against the idea of his reputation. Mm-hmm. Also, their media calls. There's guys online. Sean Ross Sapp was talking about it. In every media call, there's like 200 questions about the status of Velveteen Dream. At what point do you say you're a hindrance to what we're trying to do, regardless of truth, innocence, or otherwise? You know, we can't move forward as a company if every time the media gets a hold of us, all they want to ask about is what the fuck's happening with you and you haven't been on TV for a year. Why do they care? You know what I mean? So it could also just be that. Like, I mean, they got to get their media thing going. Someone made a joke today about it even, too, where they showed it and said, now in all the media calls, we're just going to start asking Triple H if he's seen any good movies lately. Basically saying all they seem to talk about is Velveteen Dream in those. So Twin Fox does say, hire a social media manager. And then he says, like Jordan Grace, I mean, she gets past the gray line sometimes on social media. Yeah. But I agree with Amanda as far as closing thoughts go. If he ends up on alumni or not, we might know a little bit more of the inside of it, or even then, maybe it just could be how much do they want to distance themselves from it. Justin, is there anything about this that we haven't hit that you think we should?
Nope, I think we pretty much hit the nail on the head there.
I think it's an interesting topic. Let's see, before we get into the shows, and I know we're pretty deep into not being at the shows yet, but that's kind of how we do it here on Thursday Night Chaser. We drink and we get into the weeds. AEW Dynamite, as of 2022, is moving to TBS. They will no longer be on TNT. To me, that's a little bit funny because I'm here for the pettiness and the amount of times they've had someone show up and say, for the first time in 20 years on TNT, because since AEW has no history, they have to lean on the history of TNT with WCW. I just get a kick out of the idea that it's all like, what are they going to say, for the first time since TBS? Tony did say something along the lines of there's a rich history of TBS with wrestling, which is the NWA, which is not who they utilize. So a little curious how that's going to play out. But Thunder might have been on TBS. With AEW moving to Tuesday nights on TBS, I don't see anyone talking about how AEW is intentionally going to war with NXT. Yeah. And that's always been the conversation when NXT does anything. So I'm a little curious why that conversation hasn't come up. Why no one thinks AEW is directly attacking NXT to take away viewership. I don't know why they don't give AEW the same onus they give NXT when the TV execs make a decision. I think that's peculiar. I think it's neat. They're going to add an hour of TV on Fridays on TNT. They're getting Rampage at 10 p.m. So after SmackDown, they're going to have their own Thunder. Yep. They're going to bump it to like 10 hours worth of stuff. And I think those are the big moves. They're adding a 1 hour on Friday. They're having 2 hours moved from TNT to TBS. I've said basically all I think about it. I think it's all fine. I don't have a problem with any of it. From a pettiness perspective, I think it's funny. They can't say, 20 years since I've been on TNT, I'm finally home. All right, well, you're pack up and moving. But apart from the dumb pettiness, because I don't have a problem with it, I do think it's a little telling of the narrative that the fan base has when NXT runs away from AEW or when they show up on Wednesday night before AEW just to screw AEW. When AEW moves, everyone's all like, this is probably a good business move. Okay.
Well, I think right now everybody is too involved with celebrating that Velveteen Dream doesn't work for WWE. That
they're distracted.
This will, it'll rear its ugly head as it always does. The people who are that anti, WWE. I mean, I personally, when I was, I still kind of am anti WWE, but NXT is my exception right now. Maybe 205 Live, but I don't know that whatever. But I think that it's like if that's all you want to do, that's fine. But it's like your product AEW is not perfect. Okay, it's not. It really is not. Other, like they can't get the pyro down. They can't get the, take cover. Yeah. The blood in the cage. So, you have people that paid to go see it, and over 50% of the show was like watching it on TV. I mean, I know someone who traveled and they're like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, yeah, no, sorry. Did you go to Tony and ask for a refund? Or whatnot. But yeah, no, they're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Okay. NXT has their flaws too. Well, they all do.
Yeah, I still think both of them are basically highly produced indie shows. Like, if you love indie wrestling and like your local wrestling, you're gonna love AEW or NXT. It's gonna be, you might love them both. You might like one or the other, but those are gonna be your ones. If you are the type to go to your local wrestling events all the time, whether it be at a VFW or a swap meet, and you just love that feeling and that aura, AEW or NXT, those are your things. You're not going to get that same feeling or look by watching a Raw or SmackDown or something like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't. Yeah. I go to some of those local ones because sometimes I work them. But
I go, and that's like how I feel. Like I'll still like now, just because it's fun to watch. I missed this weekend though, but it's fun to watch. The big pay-per-views and see, like a drink along and stuff. Like I think that's fun. So that's why I do them. So, but I don't know, but definitely support your local indies. I'm for that. If it's not your thing, those outlaw mud shows, you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
They're usually a good time. And sometimes you watch stuff and you just kind of laugh or snicker and you say, okay, and you can forgive it. But when I turn on my national TV, I don't want to have the same snickering feeling of like, well, it's okay. They're trying. No.
Yeah.
You guys are professionals now. Like, you're not trying anymore. You're here. So fucking be good. So let me hit the chat real quick because we've missed a couple things. It's moving a little bit. We got a good night tonight. We got Splinter Fox in the chat. GR Lunar coming through. Splinter Fox is coming in. Having a good time in there today, which is cool. Let's see. He says he doesn't see Dream on the alumni yet, but it just happened. He does, however, see Lars Sullivan in the alumni, which is interesting. I agree. Lunar says, good evening, everyone. Cheers to GR Lunar coming through. He was at our watch-along for the WrestleMania Backlash.
Missed that. So sorry.
We did a bad job of telling people we're going to do it, and we just did it. Doesn't matter. We were having a good time.
Oh, I messed up on the time.
Oh,
I was sleeping and I woke up. I'm like, oh yeah, Backlash should be on now. No, it was not. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Spinnerfox says, to me, this scares me that they are leaving TNT. I'm scared for the future of AEW. I'll ride the ship till the end, but I might to see NJPW again. I feel bad for Will Ospreay. Yeah. I mean, we talked about that a little bit ago. If we do feel bad for him, we're very curious what they do with it.
Even
is TBS is not as popular as a channel as TNT, is it? Is that the problem? Is that what people are concerned about?
So, I don't think it is really.
I
think TNT is way more popular than TBS.
Well, TNT really only, like their popularity is based on the fact that one, they have the NBA, and then two, they have pretty current shows that they heavily put on rotation.
Yeah.
Like I think Chicago PD, and those kinds of things.
True.
But honestly, like I think that it shouldn't hurt the product at all, to be quite honest.
I don't know.
Because
no,
I don't think it will. Only because of the fact that I think that what will hurt the product is some of the bullshit that's been, that they've been doing, these horrible storylines. Nobody wants to see, like, I will say this, I don't want to see lately some of the stuff that they've put out. Yes, there's some great stuff. There's a lot of really horrible stuff. So, they need to figure that out. And, they've had over a year now. So, obviously, they got bumped to, they got bumped in the minors, but that's okay. It's like baseball, they can go back to the bigs. Don't worry about it.
I do think that when, I believe it was SmackDown moved from, it wasn't USA, but maybe it was on USA or maybe it was on Sci-Fi and it moved to like UPN.
Yeah, Sci-Fi. Mm-hmm.
I think it went from like, yeah. It didn't do well over there.
Yeah, no, that's where
it did better than they. Yeah. It did. I don't want to say it did better than they expected because I think it did worse than they expected, but better than it could have been. But it was on a channel that wasn't a good fit. So when the contract came up and they could move, they moved, and it did good again. So I do think being on the right channel does make a difference. So there could be an impact by going to a TBS. I guess that's possible.
So I don't think it'll do that much to them, honestly. I think they'll
you think
just.
Who they have is going to follow them?
I think they'll be fine. As soon as they move to TBS, it'll probably just be the same thing as being on TNT.
But isn't TBS a little bit more accessible? I know they're both on cable, but I think that there's more opportunities that you can see it without having to, like, buy it on some people buy it on I don't know why, or find a stream or whatever.
Maybe, but like Lunar says, TNT is more popular just because it's more on the tip of everyone's tongue because of all the sports they have on there. Certifox says, seems like TNT just wants petty sports like NHL and NBA, them gosh awful sports, which is funny. Lunar making a joke about a local promotion saying you're going to love AEW. I'll tell you, everyone who's there, they think they're all going to be on AEW. I heard them tell somebody, oh yeah, we're going to be on AEW. Just keep your eye out. And fucking message me. I'll tell you what douchebag said it. And you'll laugh when you hear it too, because it doesn't take long to. But
it's great to hear my local people. We're getting our first show back in San Francisco. I'm so excited because it's probably one of my favorite local promotions, West Coast Pro. Shout out to them. Nice. I help out with them a lot, so plug. All these guys are like from the Bay Area are stoked because they're getting booked on, GCW, and they have been.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I
you
feel
know,
like
you
there's a
gotta
resurgence
remember.
coming for GCW because
Yeah.
you said that I've seen a lot more people talking about GCW lately.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the chat, Splinter Fox said we didn't even get there yet, but he goes, "I prefer indie GCW." He goes, "It's amazing. I would watch GCW shows over WrestleMania any day," which also makes sense because that's more your style. Lunar says GCW is pretty badass.
Mhm.
I've only heard and seen good clips from most of GCW. I do understand though. I think they do a pretty solid balance of having death matches versus not death matches, but I think they're more known for death match stuff.
Yeah.
And I will say that death matches can be quite a turnoff for a chunk of audience. So I do think it's an uphill battle that they face in that regard, but I do think the people who love indie wrestling will absolutely love GCW. Where, like I said, if you love indie wrestling, you may like AEW or NXT. I think if you like either of those, you're going to like GCW. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think too, what's great is when they do the collective and they have all sorts of different wrestlers have a show now. And that's the total spirit of indie wrestling. And I will say this last one during like Mania time, there were some things that lacked, but the time before that, there were some really great things. But again, it's all subjective and whatnot. And I'll tell you guys, like, I love GCW. I'm not a deathmatch person. And I think next week I'll put the photo of me in my gear that I had. So Gage was going to wrestle. What did I do? I threw on a plastic poncho over it. I put a sweatshirt on, put a plastic poncho on. I had like a bandana and I had all sorts of things, protective eye gear. Yeah, I ran the gamut. And then the first light tube, it wasn't even near me. I ran away like a bitch because I don't like that. Panes of glass, cool. Barbed wire, cool. Light tubes, hell fucking no. So
I think GCW just, a lot of people think it's just all death matches.
Mhm.
It's not all death matches. They have actual regular wrestling matches in there too. And I think they're a great company.
Yeah.
Completely like underrated in my opinion. They need more recognition because they're that great.
yeah, Lauderdale knocks it out of the park, I think, Brett Lauderdale. So
Looking forward to Gage and Moxley. That's for damn sure.
I know.
I can't wait for that shit.
I can't either. Did they say where they're doing it?
I don't know yet.
Oh, they don't know yet. I hope it's going to be LA because I want to try to go. But that's okay.
I saw the brawl. That was about it. And I was like, oh my God, yes. Is it time now?
Yeah. Because I was there for David Arquette Gage. That was kind of scary. Poor guy. Yeah, I don't think he knew what deathmatch was before he accepted this that match. So, yeah.
His Dark Side of the Ring, Nick Gage's Dark Side of the Ring was freaking phenomenal. I know. I have to watch it. It's amazing.
I haven't seen it.
I'm MDK all fucking day.
Let me run through some of this chat real quick. Yeah, Splinter says, just want to see wrestling, F the talking, which is funny because this is a talking show. He goes, let's see, the Gino Lunar talked about TNT we talked about. He says, usually, Splinter Fox says, usually when a show leaves to a sister channel, that means the end is near. Lunar says, to be fair, WWE's jumped from USA, Spike, USA, and Fox, and even Sci-Fi, as he forgot about, and UPN. But that's also the deal, is that WWE did that at times that they were in a high demand and they saw shifts in viewership. So for a company like AEW that's still very much finding its footing in so many ways, would they be able to withstand the same thing? Because WWE started off with large time frame contracts with the companies. Like USA, I don't think they moved from USA the first time. I mean, Raw is still on USA. Raw's been on USA the whole time. Raw never shifted from USA. So having a secondary show kind of flip around is one thing, but Dynamite is AEW's flagship show, no doubt. And within 2 years, it's been bumped. It's just something to think about. Spinner Fox says, I'm getting the WCW flashbacks once them Thunder on TBS. That was the end. I said the same thing also, like, ooh, they're poising Rampage to be their new Thunder, but it's on TNT, and their new flagship is on the old Thunder channel. I was like, I don't know. He says GCW has a mix of all kinds of wrestling there, not just deathmatch wrestling. Exactly, that's what I mean. But I think that when people leave those matches, the people who don't like death matches, that's all they remember. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. They have an uphill battle to face in that one. They're known for death match, but it's not all they do. They're just not afraid of doing it when it comes up, right? Spinner Fox says GCW has. He says next new talent was in GCW. NXT new talent was in GCW. I think most people go through GCW at this point. I don't think you can find anybody on any show.
Like Christian, Alex Zane.
I think they all go through there. I don't know if there's many people on AEW or WWE that at this point are not going through GCW. You know what I mean? That seems to be one of the bigger. It's like the new PWG, so far as I can tell.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much so. Or when they leave the WWE, they're going to GCW. Leo Rush, here's one example. ACH went back to GCW. Just things like that. But it's good to see.
Let's see. Spinner Fox thinks this Dark Side of the Ring season was the best season. He thinks the match is going to be July 4th. But they also reminded me that Raw moved to TNN when ECW was on TNN. That was in 2000 to 2005. So I guess they had, 4 years on USA first then? 'Cause didn't Raw debut on USA in 96? No, it was before 96. It was like 92. So they had like 8 years. There's a difference. I mean, there's a difference between being bumped for 2 years and having a contract expire.
I'll tell you this, everybody, don't freak out. It could be like, affiliated with like Sinclair, and most people don't get Ring of Honor because their Sinclair whatever affiliate doesn't play the Ring of Honor. So there's that. And when Lucha Underground was around, there was El Rey Network. So don't worry about it. It's fine. If ROH can survive all this time, AEW is okay.
What I just thought of with the whole them moving to TBS, do you think Cody doing the Go Big show on TBS has something to do with it?
So
I don't think it's like a direct thing, but I think that it just shows like the connection between TBS and TNT. It's just all under one umbrella. The Go Big show home wasn't going to be. It was made by the same. It was the sister channel. You know what I mean? TNT's our big channel, but look at all these other channels. We have game shows and stuff.
Wait,
so it was just because where they put it. TBS is also where the Road story is, right? Roads to Glory or whatever.
Wait, isn't Cena's Wipeout on TBS?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Splinter Fox brings up a good point. Underground lives. It's in MLW, and I was going to ask you guys about that. Do either of you guys foresee yourselves watching MLW now that it's on Vice? Because I watched an episode the other day, and I fucking loved it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to watch the next episode of MLW on Vice. And I think it's going to be kind of my new indie go-to. I think it's going to be my new, because I stopped watching AEW, and Splinter Fox, you'll see that when we get to the Dynamite review here in a few minutes, that I'm going to let Justin and Amanda have at it, and I'm going to kind of butt out. But I think MLW might be my new extracurricular.
Yeah, they've got a good roster. They've got a good roster. Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Especially, I think this Saturday, I'm gonna check it out. Just to. I just recently started getting back into Impact a little bit myself, so.
Whoa. Okay.
That one threw me off because I watched Under Siege, and it was a solid show for what it was. I was happy with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if you guys, if you do watch it, we'll see. Amanda, did you ever go back and watch any of that NXT UK with Mako and was it Effie Valkyrie? We talked about.
I have not. That's how busy I am, but it's on my list of things to watch because
just wondering.
I have a little list. I have a brand new little iPad that I've been enjoying, and every time I sit down to try to watch it, I fall asleep with it with the iPad on my face. So haven't gotten there yet.
All right.
But I will.
Just wondering because it was just one of those things where it's like I think we're going to start watching MLW because I think it's a 1 hour show. So you're in, you're out.
I don't think it's very long.
Yeah, and I think from what we saw, it looked fucking fantastic. So I'm actually really excited to start watching some MLW. And Spin Fox says he's just scared because in 2022 they're not going to be on TNT at all. And it's all going to be on TBS. I thought Rampage was going to stay on TNT, but you could be right. He thinks there might be a special here or there on TNT when there's an off season. I doubt it. I wouldn't.
I think they said they were.
Right,
They're
you're
going to
right
do
there.
4 major shows on TNT
okay.
a year.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
Well, I don't think I have much else to say about all that other than it's interesting, and we'll see how it plays out. I like this conversation we're all having. I dig it. I like Spinner Fox and Lunar jumping in on those things. I'm really excited to see MLW, so we'll be talking about that as we get going. Anything from anybody else where you guys want to talk about Dynamite?
Yeah, we can talk about Dynamite.
Yeah, let's hit it. Let's get into Dynamite. AEW Dynamite happened this week. I saw absolutely none of it. I saw the clip of the Young Bucks spraying some girl in the face with like what seemed to be hairspray or mace. I thought that was an interesting thing to do.
Fucking cold spray.
The cold spray?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. You guys can tell me about it. But that's
all
I saw.
It's a Japanese thing. It's a Japan thing.
All right. Well, it's all I saw. That's all I'm saying. So if you guys want to talk about Dynamite and what you thought of it, we will start with Amanda, and you can go back and forth with Justin, and I'll kind of like lay out unless you guys say something ridiculous.
So, I turned on a little late, so I think I missed. Justin, who was the first match? Was it the women's match? Or was it Christian and
It was Christian.
Okay, so I didn't miss much of it. Okay. I thought, you know what? I really kind of enjoyed that match. I'm not gonna lie. I really did. Yeah, it felt like old school, WWE back in the day when I watched it. But I mean, damn, Christian can still go. And Seidel, again, same thing. I mean, he's always been really great. Again, that's another one. Older school, flippy stuff that's controlled. He doesn't move around the ring like Ricochet does.
He's not just flips either. He's got like submissions and everything.
Submissions and everything. Yeah, because he evolved through the years. Because at first it was just flippy shit, and then now it's a little bit of everything. And I think that that's kind of that natural progression that you kind of do. So, but I liked the match. I had no complaints about it. I liked it. It was a good opening match. I thought the women were, and I thought, oh, that must have been short. And then, here's these two. So I thought it was,
What'd you think of the match, Justin?
I thought it was good. All I know is when Excalibur told me that they were both in the Casino Battle Royale, the first thing I thought was, well, make it all obvious on who's winning the Battle Royal here, because that's the first thing I said.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even need to see the entrance. As soon as you said Christian's in it, there you go. Christian's winning this Battle Royal. There's no other way. You can tease this mystery entrant all you want. It's obvious Christian's going to win this. I think that's the thing with Dynamite is I enjoyed the episode, but everything's just so see-through to me right now.
Yeah.
I sit there and it's literally one of those, you don't even have to watch the show. You can just see what's on the card and go, well, I know where this is leading to. I know what that's leading to. And it's just, that's why with Marsh not watching, like, he's not missing anything. You can just look at the card and go, I know what's going to happen there.
Well, producer lady missed Ricky Starks in a shirtless in a little suit. That was really nice.
I loved your tweet. That was hysterical. I laughed so hard when I read that.
A lot of people did. A lot of people like, whoa.
That. It was so funny.
They're like, calm down. I was like,
as soon as this music hit, I went, oh God, Amanda's going to like pass out right now.
Well, I will say this. When I saw that, I was like, I couldn't talk. And at the time when I saw it, I was what was I doing? Oh, it was I was eating I had a piece of candy and I was eating. That thing fell out of my mouth, rolled on the floor, and I'm like more. And then when Hangman came and gave him the drink, I just fell off the chair and I just thought that was hilarious. But yeah, have not gone back and watched it because, I'm like, ugh, I need to have a time where I'm like, okay, I can, on the screen, and that made me stare like dreamily. But, is what it is. I'm there for that kind of content.
I love that.
Yes. And there was snow this week, by the way, staying in the snow. Have I missed it? Yeah, I was missing it a little bit because I felt ripped off because we'd see Sting and there was no snow, and we got snow this time. So that made me a happy camper because at least they still are being true to the snow.
Wherever Sting goes, winter's coming.
Exactly. Why? I don't know why they felt the need to put the snow there then at that moment in time, but it is what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's because Tony knows that the snow is reliable and not pyrotechnics. Maybe. Who knows?
We can't fail with the snow.
You can't unless do they? I can't remember. Are they using like little shaved bits of ice, or are they using soap, or I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, because that's how you can screw it up, is either the chunks are too big, or if it's soap and it starts to rain, it can get frothy, and
I think it just looks funny because every time I see it and it gets stuck in Sting's hair, I go, look, Sting's got dandruff.
Yeah. So true. Love it. Oh, I want to know what your opinion, Justin, is about with Hook. I think he's looking pretty good out there. So do you think we'll see him wrestle soon?
I hope so, because every time I see him get in the ring and all of a sudden he's popping off a suplex and I'm like, is he going to wrestle yet? Like, is this going to happen? Like, can we get him in the ring? Like, is he going to start throwing suplexes like his dad? That'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking, and his little come from behind and hit him behind the back of the knee. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, the kids, I'm antsy. I mean, maybe
for the one time he slides in there and he locks in the Taz mission. I'm gonna pop like a maniac.
I am waiting. Maybe he might be the surprise entrant.
That'd be a really nice twist.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome if he was. So if you're hearing me, Tony Khan, and I know you don't listen to me, but I'm just saying, give the people what they want. That's what they want.
Yes.
All right. What was next? I need to have a little sheet. I don't do notes, people. So I don't know what the next match was. Because I'll tell you the truth, honestly, I was still in a haze. Understandably, I couldn't speak. I mean,
she was flustered.
I was beyond flustered. I was beyond. And I will say this, I got a text message for someone and they said, I'm a fool. It's funny, but I'm a fool. Not gonna tell you who text messaged me that, but it's kind of obvious.
I think after was Sheeta and Rebel, but I might be wrong.
You know what? That sounds like it was right. And honestly,
well, I have Christian Cage followed up by the tag match, Moxley and Kingston versus Acclaim.
Oh yeah. Next.
Oh yeah. It's very interesting to me that, and I asked this on my Twitter. It's like, did Tony Khan buy the rights to Wild Thing?
Yes,
I think he did.
Did he?
Yeah. He said he bought the rights for several versions too. So
okay, I personally, myself, as I said on Twitter, and I said it the first week Mox came out to it, I like the X version from from Major League the best, and I think that kind of suits him, kind of suits Eddie, since they're using it when the two of them are tagging. But
is that the one he came out to last night?
Yeah. That was one from Major League. Yeah. That was the good one. Yeah. So I was excited about that. I think, okay, yeah, that did kind of snap me out of my haze for just a moment. And because I was like, yes, someone heard me that this is the better
I hear Wild Thing. I can focus now.
But then I'd be like, oh my God, well, next it's like, did he do Tone Loc? I know it's a totally different song, people, but I'm just saying, equal opportunity, man. Equal opportunity.
Tone Loc's my favorite version. Hot take.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I said. It's a different version.
It's my favorite version.
You know?
It's my hot take.
I mean, I don't know. It's like, who is it? Well, it's like, Jungle Boy with Baltimore, Tarzan Boy. I mean, it is what it is. But I will say, because I have Sirius XM in my car, there's a remix version. I never knew that existed.
Oh,
and
Tarzan Boy?
Yeah.
What?
I don't shoot the messenger. It was on what channel was it? I was listening to the New Wave channel, and they played it, and I didn't realize that I was driving, and then all of a sudden, the chorusy, that Taz likes to sing. If you watch YouTube TV wrestling, it went on, and there was this cool, like almost dance breaky kind of part to it, and I'm like, I wonder if Tony bought the rights to that. So I'll have to see if I can find it, and I'll share a link with you. But it was pretty phenomenal. I was like, oh, this is a good version to have. A little instrumental in there, makes a good ringtone. I don't know.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was pretty awesome. So if you're a fan of that, be on the lookout. Yeah, that was cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know about Rebel. What's her point? Her purpose? I mean,
she's the doctor's assistant. That's just it. That's all she is.
I know, but still, I do like when she laughs that, because I think it's funny. Because it's just like, oh, so bitchy. I love it. But I just don't understand the point of it, because I'm waiting for one day for Rebel to just kind of smack the doctor upside the head and just walk away. And I don't know.
I mean, it'll more likely end up with Britt turning on her more than anything.
That's true. But it's exciting to see at least that, they were putting her on TV, because I didn't think that she wanted to wrestle anymore or be on TV. So
I think my one gripe with her is she moves too slow.
Yeah.
She feels like she's in slow motion. She feels like if you're pressing the pause button and it just goes frame by frame. And that's all it is. Yeah, that's all it feels like when I watch her wrestle.
And it's weird because, like, I remember watching her wrestle because she was TNA, right? Or
yeah, she was an Impact.
Yeah.
With Menagerie with Mike Knox. And
yeah. God. And I'd seen her do Queens of Combat at a WrestleCon. And I was like, was she always like that? And I had to think about it, because I'm like, no. I mean, I don't know if something happened to her, but I'm like, that's really weird. So, but yeah, no, I've noticed that she's slow-mo. And I'm like, don't get it. Or are you doing that on purpose because, you're not supposed to win most of the time? So you're there for comic relief. So.
All right.
Don't know what to tell you.
Baker in her 10 days. Remember? 10 days. And then Marsh put up 9 days.
Oh, God, no,
10
don't
days. 10
please.
days from today. 10 days from today on Dynamite. 10 days. It's in 10 days.
Why?
I love it.
Producer lady, why? Why?
Yeah.
Just 9 days.
Couldn't mute me fast enough.
Well, I think he must have felt that we were missing that. So I can live without this. Now, what was the next one, Marsh? Because you didn't watch.
There was a backstage segment with Cassidy and Omega.
Oh yeah, I really, you know what? Honestly, I saw Don Callis. I saw Kenny. I just kind of was like, let me check my phone. Let me go get a soda. I didn't really see it, to be honest.
Was it special to you,
Cassidy
Justin?
tearing up the thing.
Oh yeah, I saw on Twitter. I saw little snippets here and there, but I mean, honestly, why I didn't watch it is like, I think this whole thing with Don Callis and Kenny and all this stuff, it's really annoying and irritating, and it's stupid, and I'm over it. So now the Bucks, I think, is hilarious. That I just think it's hilarious because they're way over the top, and it's kind of like a nod back to their New Japan days where they didn't give a fuck. kick, and they were just doing super kicks, and all that. So.
Let's see, Splinterfox in the chat. He says Rebel's been training at Dustin's Wrestling Academy. He thinks that she's just acting right now. I've seen her training there a lot too, as far as like the social media stuff goes. So I figured she's got to be getting pretty solid. But I guess we'll see. He says Chris versus Omega. Yes, please. He goes, but I bet we see Chris versus Tessa coming soon. Was Chris Statlander involved in this skit with Omega?
Yes, she when they walked in the room, she got in Omega's face.
Nice.
She got in Omega's face, and then he told them all to leave, and then she just kept staring him down, but then she walked away, and then like Trent said something, I don't remember what the fuck he said, and then he kind of walked off, and that was like the gist of it there. And then he sat down next to Orange Cassidy, was telling him how he should just give up, how he almost got like, how he got all injured, and he's like, I could end your career. He's like, I could even end your life if I wanted to, and all this. And he's like, and then he gave him the waiver, and he just like slowly tore it.
Nice.
And I was like, that's hysterical. I'm like, he gives no fucks either. He just doesn't care what Kenny says.
No,
I love Orange Cassidy. He's hysterical.
That is, he's such a great character. I mean, half the time I'm like, well, when I first started seeing him, I'm like, is he really like that in real life? Like, because if you are, cool, but no, like when I met him, he was really energetic, and that threw me for a loop. I'm like, whoa.
When he debuted, immediately I went to go watch matches of him, because everyone was like, you need to see Orange Cassidy matches. You need to see Orange Cassidy matches. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll go watch Orange Cassidy matches. And I sat down and watched a bunch of them. Like, I watched the War Horse match. I think I watched the Statlander one, and they were really great. And I'm like, okay, I'm convinced.
Yeah, another good one. It was from Beyond Wrestling. He and Cabana, and they were outside, and I think Bryce Remsburg was the ref. And there's this one spot where, I guess Orange had asked someone for a beer, and they got it, and he's just drinking it. And, and then he got on the ropes, and they were walking around drinking the beer. I just thought it was like great. I'm like, look at this. This is wonderful.
If he'd have taken the beer and just done this, and it just poured down him, I would have laughed.
I know. I was waiting for that. Or, him to pour it on Cabana, and Cabana would like freak out. But again, it is, I think that with Orange Cassidy, it's nice that people are getting exposed to that comedic type of wrestling. I know a lot of people hate that, but you know what, honestly, like if you say you hate it and you love Orange Cassidy, it's like you're really not giving it a try. There's my 2 cents.
I think it's because we've seen the serious side from Orange Cassidy too. So I think so it's not all just comedy for him.
Yeah, it's not. And then I don't know about other people, but of the best friends, I've always been like Trent, because I think Trent is like hilarious, because he actually is he's kind of dorky. He's really hilarious, and and he's super chill. So I don't know. Shout out to him. Heavyweight.
Trent's the good wrestler. Chuck Taylor was the other comic fucking relief. Yeah. Because I remember when he used to do the fucking grenade thing all the time. I miss that shit. I wish he'd do that once on Dynamite. I would laugh my ass off for that.
I want him to come out as Swamp Monster.
Oh my God.
One time. Yeah. But I think Quack and Bush might have an issue with that.
Let's see.
So.
In the chat, Splinterfox does say Orange versus Chris was amazing. I've also heard the best Orange Cassidy match was versus Kylie Ray. I don't know if you guys saw that one or not. I haven't seen it, but I heard that one was incredible. He does say people hate comedy wrestling but love WWE zombie shit. I can test that. I don't think anybody liked the zombie shit.
People who like zombies probably liked it.
Yeah, that's true. If you like Walking
Dead
Dead season 9.
It wasn't a match. It was an advertisement.
It was an advertisement, yeah. It was. I was like, okay, so we're in a commercial break now? This is weird for a pay-per-view. But yeah, he goes, I forgot about that match. Kylie Ray, that was fire. So Spring Fox agrees that was a good one. So it's the only one that I think to myself I'm going to eventually watch of any Orange Cassidy match, to be honest. The ones I've seen, not liked, not cared for, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not into it. Totally fine. I'm not into a lot of comedy wrestling. We've talked about that before.
Mhm.
Some of it I get at certain times can be funny to me, but for the most part, some of these overly comedy acts I just don't like as much.
Yes,
But I have that
have no
Orange and
soul.
Kylie is one that's on my mind as one that I'm probably gonna end up watching.
You have no soul.
Also, sad with her being gone, even though she's coming back for one more match against Thunder Rosa, which would be cool.
Mhm.
After this, we did have the Inner Circle cutting some sort of promo here.
I'm sick of that. Over that.
It's the usual Inner Circle shtick.
Mhm.
It's just they're out here cutting a promo until they have a
Mhm.
big match. That's it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That's again another time where I just like tuned out, but I can't remember. Did they played Judas and then everyone did their thing?
Excalibur and
couldn't
his
Oh,
the
God.
Jacksonville Children's Choir.
No,
Oh, yeah.
it's getting old, people. It's really stale. It was cute the first 2, maybe 3 times, and I've said it on episode 1 before.
I
That
believe that's true.
it's run its course, and I think some people are feeling that way too.
Oh.
With it.
I feel like I've kind of heard that going around as well. After that, they had Serena Deeb versus Red Velvet.
Red Velvet has gotten a lot better from when she first started. There's still some development I see, but it's really kind of nice to see Serena back.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to see her more, I think. But I don't know if it's because WA or whatever, but she is signed to, AEW. So I wonder, but I'd like to see more of her because I think that would make the women's division be a little bit more, I don't want to say legitimate, but it probably would make it look, at least fluff it up.
It's the word, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, it's fluff. So to make it look better than it really is. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Justin, anything on that one?
I honestly, I missed the match. I saw like the beginning half of it, but then I missed everything else of it. Like I kind of just, I wanted to go back and watch it but every time I see Red Velvet, she's gotten better so much. She's one of the people in the Nightmare Factory that over time she's at least gotten better. And
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
Serena Deeb is just, she's great. She is really great. Like the day she loses the NWA Women's Championship, she's gonna be a nice addition to continue with the AEW Women's Division now.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess it was her match back from a knee injury, so if it was a little lackluster, it could be just working the kinks out or not. So could be. I know there was a lot of tweets going around about her being like a female Bret Hart. So I liked seeing that stuff going about. What were you gonna say?
I think we got Jade Cargill cutting a promo for that match because obviously, people can't let things die. So Jade Cargill next week is having a match where open challenge. For some reason, AEW likes this open challenge crap. It's getting old. We need to do something else. That's just me.
Then open
I mean,
challenge.
WWE seems like they're on one too, though.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, he likes to copy everybody. So Tony. Yeah. So.
I feel like every decent champion gets a moment of what's next, because there's always like foreseeable storylines on how they get to the title and what they do immediately after the title, and then there's that like valley time period where I think that's where the open challenge comes out, because it's like we've got nothing on the horizon yet. We don't have a way to lead into a match because we just got out of a thing. So we're going to do some open challenges here to kind of like tease the idea to see what maybe the next story might be. You know what I mean? So I feel like open challenges aren't the worst thing, but if they're all happening at once, it can be pretty annoying. I can see that.
But let's like Darby. I don't know what he's really got next. I mean, now you took the belts off of it. So what do you do?
Yep.
Same thing you did with Cage and Starks. Just put them in tag matches over and over. It just seems like.
Let's see. We had a Go-Go and Austin Gunn, and then Young Bucks and Varsity Blondes. I know Cody was involved in the Go-Go thing. What do you guys think about this overly patriotic thing and our war against England? Apparently,
That's kind of dumb, but my thing was this, like, what was it? Was it Austin or the other
it was
one?
Austin.
Yeah. Okay. He just look, he got rocked pretty hard.
oh, he's injured. He's out for 8 to 10 weeks. They said.
Yeah, I know. And it was like, whoa, holy shit. Like, I was like, wow. I mean, I don't know if it was just kind of like, if it happened to be like accident or whatever, or a Go-Go is just really that, whatever. But yeah, no.
About the coughing up blood stuff, that was like blood capsule. He hurt like an elbow or a knee or something like that.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, I mean, if it looked that believable, that's awesome. That's the goal. That's what
Because
you
I
want.
thought it was. Like, I really thought that, I thought it looked real. I mean, I don't know.
Which is awesome. That's perfect. That's what you want.
Yeah,
That's
I
a good
mean,
thing.
for as
If you
much
got worked,
as
that's the best part. We say it all
Yeah.
the time. The best part about watching wrestling is getting worked. Like, that's our favorite part.
Yeah. My second favorite part is, when people. I'm not going back there. I'll just dreamy say.
Real quick, Spinnerfox says Hook is in the Nightmare Factory. He says they're holding Hook for a big storyline. They were talking about that a little bit earlier too. Maybe right before you came in, they were talking about that. But he says he loves Jade and hopes Darby stays away forever. He's not a Darby fan. Not a Darby fan. So I'm curious what they're going to do with him next. Like you said, now he doesn't have the title. But Justin, anything you want to say about a Go-Go and Gunn or Cody and America and?
Cody and America. I like that. Anything to say about Cody in America?
Oh my God.
That needs to be on a shirt, Cody in America, or whatever. Or some artwork.
God.
We need artwork.
I don't believe from what I've seen, I don't think Anthony Ogogo is ready for this. I don't. And I don't like this whole thing at all because Cody just decides, oh, I'm going to come out and I'm going to play history teacher for everybody. And it's just, I don't give a shit, Cody. Like, it's not, this is all just some fucking giant ploy to get yourself over more. And it's just fucking stupid. You're trying to make it seem like it's such a big deal because, I have my recruits turn their back on me and you're supposed to feel bad for me. Like, fuck off. I don't give a shit.
Nobody feels bad.
It's just nonsense. It's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ogogo's ready for this. Cody's just going to do this to put himself over more and more. And it's a bunch of BS as far as I'm concerned. I'm not looking forward to the Ogogo match.
I want to know what you guys think about this. So the Cody promo that was so passionate that he cried about, like he cries all the time, was about how he's going to have an interracial baby.
Oh, yeah.
And about how he loves America. So he's going to beat the shit out of Anthony Ogogo. Anthony Ogogo is a British guy who's an interracial child. His dad is Nigerian, his mother is English.
Yeah.
Like, how do you try to make the stance that I'm doing this for my baby because of the, like, you know what I mean? He tried to bring race into it and country, and then his response is, I will beat up this person of that same race I'm protecting of a country we have nothing against, that I've had very little interaction with apart from that weird flag thing, which didn't even make sense at the time, felt forced even then. Like, what do you guys think about, just even from a surface level, the idea that you said that this is just Cody putting himself over in a weird way, I feel like is so on the money because it feels like it wasn't thought through all the way. Like, we'll just do it with a Go-Go. And you're like, yeah, but you're saying you're doing this for interracial people and he is one and you want to beat him up now. Like, it's just kind of a weird stance to take for somebody who is just super white. You know what I mean?
Well, remember, he was the only one during Black History Month that had a shirt that went
I've
to
seen
charity.
some memes floating around. People are putting Cody pictures inside of all these big Black history moments, and it's been so funny to see. And I was like, they're so shitty put together, and it's. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I just want to know what you guys think about that, because I'm not watching it regularly. I did hear part of that promo and thought it was really weird, and then did see who he's going up against and thought that was also weird. It just makes less sense than before.
No, it just
I want to know what you thought about it. As soon as I tell you what Splinter says, he goes, I prefer Cody over Kenny right now. The best champion is yet to be the champion. Britt Baker will be the best champion they have after the pay-per-view. Baker is gold. Okay, that's definitely an opinion. Hey, Amanda, what do you think about the Ogogo Cody stuff?
Well, it was weird. Okay. The only time I ever feel bad for Cody is I feel bad that he was stupid enough to get a neck tattoo like that. But I'm keeping it real, Justin. I'm keeping it real.
That's fucking great.
I know. I mean,
I only feel bad for you because you decided to put a tattoo on
big
your
old
neck.
ugly neck tattoo on
Sticks
your
out
neck.
like a fucking sore
Like,
thumb. Sticks
well,
out
yeah.
like Jillian Hall's wart thing.
Yeah. It's like, what were you trying to do? Were you really drunk and high? I mean, I don't know. But I just, it kind of bothers me because it's like you're trying to find something that to make it feel feudish. And if you have to try to find something really hard, then just don't do it. It just doesn't come out right. So I think that that's what this is. And I'm like, yeah.
What do you think, Justin?
I mean, it started with the QT thing. When he beat QT, it just comes off as this is just Cody doing this for himself. It doesn't. You're just trying to make a feud out of this, and it's not working. It's literally the best words to describe it. Like Amanda said, he's just trying to make a feud out of this. It's just not working.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think about what Splinter says here? He goes, I love Sheeta, but I feel it's Baker's time. The idea that he thinks Britt Baker's going to be the best champion in the company and that Britt Baker's gold and it's her time. This is going to be my only piece about it. Britt Baker's most notable match, the match that people think of the most of, is the match that she lost to Thunder Rosa, who's not even under contract. If you're going to tell me the best champion you have is someone who lost the biggest blow-off match the company's ever had, I'm not looking at them as being the big champion. That also means that, to me, Thunder Rosa should come in and take that title whenever she wants it because she doesn't lose to Britt Baker. Mm-hmm. Also makes it seem like it'd be more interesting to me for a company that took NWA's title if Thunder Rosa showed up on NWA Power with AEW's title. That would be really cool to me. That's my view of it. Britt Baker lost that match and they're acting like she won it, and I find that real weird. But I understand what you're saying about the way you feel about her. I know a lot of people think her promos are amazing. I think they're okay. They just don't grab me, but that's also I don't watch much. So, bias. I get it. I'm not trying to push any buttons. He does say Cody versus Camarado would have been better. A dude is a beast. I like that. Justin, let's start with you. What do you think about Britt Baker as a champion and clearly going for this title from Sheeta right now?
I mean, I'm still not completely invested in Britt Baker. There's just something that it's not clicking with me at all. But I think it's just too obvious. She's their golden girl pretty much. She was their first signee. They've been probably wanting to push her for like ever, but they've taken the time actually to like let her try to get like improve herself to show that she should be champion. And now it's just like it's still just generally obvious that she's taken it from Sheeta. Do I think she's going to be a great champion? I don't know. I can't give an answer to that yet because I'm still mixed feelings about her.
Okay.
Spinner
Fox does say.
Again,
go ahead.
I still think it's just gonna go to her. She's gonna do what she's gonna do with it, and it's just gonna end up going to her and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah. Spinner Fox does say that match never happened. It was not a sanctioned match, which is the definition of insulting your intelligence from a company that's trying to convince you they don't talk down to you. If you have a blow-off match that does not matter, then you do not air it on national TV and tout it as your main event. and put it down as historically the first ever women's main event in AEW television. It mattered. The number doesn't matter in the rankings. It doesn't matter to me that she's the number one contender. From a character standpoint, the character lost a blow-off match in what was the most brutal and historic match in all of AEW history. And if you think the match didn't matter, then it shouldn't have been watched at all. You don't air it. You don't call it your main event if it doesn't matter. That's talking down to you, and I think you're smarter than that. The company, maybe not. That's my take. Pointless Aggression t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/wrestlingontherocks. Amanda, what do you think about all of it?
I really, well, I still don't know why, and I've been trying to figure this out, why people are just so obsessed with Britt Baker having to be like, she's the face of AEW. So what? You're the first one they signed, so you want to go there, probably Brandy, if you want to go there in the hierarchy, probably signed before you. So, you know, I don't buy it. I don't, you know, I really just don't with her. I'm like, if she does get it, I think it's going to be a very short run. Very, very short. Because I think Thunder Rosa is going to take it from her.
I'll tell you, I was surprised. I thought you guys are both going to like her a lot. I thought I was going to be kind of the asshole in the situation, to be honest.
Well, you know, I liked her stuff on the indies, but now that she's in front of a camera on TV, I don't know.
I'm not feeling it, to be honest. He does say Kylie Ray was the first woman to sign. I thought it was Britt Baker, but maybe it was Kylie. I thought it was Britt and then Kylie, to be honest. I thought Kylie was I thought Britt Baker was at the press conference thing with Jericho in January. I thought Britt was there.
Yeah, but Brandy was already signed.
Brandy was signed as the chief Brandy officer, but I think that I thought that Britt Baker was there, and then at right before Double or Nothing, they signed Kylie, and then that went the way that it went, which is unfortunate. But I don't know. I thought you guys were gonna be a little bit more behind her, to be honest. I was just talking my shit 'cause I thought you guys were gonna back it, and I didn't want to feel like I was being total dick. But I do think it's a little transparent. I do think people think she's the face of the company, but I also still think that the women's division still feels really weak. And I don't know if Britt Baker has what it takes to elevate an entire division. I don't think Sheeta has it either, to be honest. Nothing's really happened, but at least she's on TV more, so maybe get more eyes on the title and make it seem more prestigious. So in that regard, I'm not against Britt Baker having the title, because if you're going to put her on TV more than the champion anyways, you might as well put the title on her so at least it looks important, you know, from that regard.
Was it All In? She was in the 4-way with the women, right?
Yes.
The 4-way is Double or Nothing.
That was the best I've seen from her. Was that
Chelsea
match.
Green, same thing. That's how I felt about Chelsea Green too. That was like the best I've seen her at. Tessa's freaking amazing, but you know, now a lot of people don't share that opinion with me, but yeah, that match was a really good, solid match.
Yeah, that was the best I've seen. Britt Baker was there.
Yeah.
Splinter Fox does say, well, if you want to call it like that, then Baker has more wins over Thunder Rosa, which is probably true, but the big blow-off matters, right? The final win is what you talk about. The blow-off is what we get to, the WrestleMania moment, the person who... How many times did Ric Flair win on his way to WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels? No one's talking about that. They're talking about the loss at WrestleMania, right? Not to say that, you know, all things have to be compared to WWE. I'm saying that the blow-off means something, and that was a huge blow-off, and she lost. And the response immediately afterwards was put Britt Baker on TV and have her talk like she won. And to me, that was weird. And then say, well, the match didn't matter. Well, then why'd you air it? You know what I mean? Like, the match mattered. And I don't mean in rankings. It just mattered in character. Her character seems weaker then. So the second she wins the title and Thunder Rosa shows up, at least there'll be some sort of feeling there. We'll be like, oh, shit, Thunder Rosa might take it because she beat the shit out of Britt last time, which could be cool, which could be exciting. Not saying that is a bad thing. Jeremy Steven coming through. Cheers, Jeremy. I don't remember if you popped in a little bit early or not, but cheers to you. He says, AEW is proof that not every indie darling is ready for TV. I agree. I think NXT shows that too sometimes.
A little while ago.
To be fair, I think it happens on NXT as well sometimes, but yeah, I'll give you that they definitely give people... Yeah. They definitely have no filter at AEW. They'll just put anyone up. Let's see. Splinter Fox does say, if I had it my way, Chris would be the women's champion, Chris Statlander. Pac would be the AEW champion. Santana and Ortiz, the tag champions, and TNT champion would be Ethan Page. You know what?
No. Come on.
I'm okay with all that, to be honest.
Well, I'm okay with it, but I like. Yeah. Never mind. I'm not going there.
No, I got you.
Dreamy size.
I'll tell you, I would have no problem giving Splinter Fox the pencil for AEW for 1 year, maybe 6 months.
Really?
Well, let's do 3 months. 3 month probationary. See what he does. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you, those champs seems pretty all right. Oh, yeah. Splinter Fox says no Baby Rock for you because he's hurt.
Oh. Like he looks good in a little suit without a shirt on. Come on.
A little suit on, a little neck brace on. He should have a neck brace that's bejeweled or with lacy things on it. He should have a.
I offered that. Yeah. He's that's no. I go, yes. It's totally bougie and you would do it. I know you would.
Make it bougie. Make it like a Louis Vuitton neck brace or some shit.
Gucci.
Have him do a couple of them. Like do Gucci. Do a few of them where it's Gucci, Louis, like every day. Coach, just a different version.
No,
but like,
no. Coach is not in that level. No.
Fendi.
No one rocks Fendi. Come on now.
I just know the one song that said "Bad Bitches Wear Fendi" or whatever. Remember that song a long time ago?
Yeah, but bad bitches
That's the only
now.
one I know.
Bad bitches now do other things. Like they're carrying like Hermes Birkin bags and shit like that. I mean, I don't know.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
There's only $10,000.
I like it.
Yeah. Only, and if you're not a person like a celebrity or a known person, forget it. You'll be on a waiting list for like 20, 30 years. You might die before they call you to say, hey, we got a Birkin for you. So
that's so funny. I think you should do that. I think you should do it anyways. Just make the neck braces and send it to them and be like, it's up to you. Just be like, it's up to you. You don't have to, but it'll change everybody's perspective of you.
No, I think I will. I'm like, I think I need to do that. I got to go to a medical supply place. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to look on Amazon right now. I think
I'm telling you, you can make it happen real easy.
I have lots of stones, I actually would be cool, but he hasn't worn neon. But I have ones that are blacklight reflective. They're pretty badass, I must say.
Well, you could do that, but also make another one Gucci then. Do two of them. Here's a bejeweled one and a Gucci one. Tell him it's his choice what he wears on TV, but he's got to wear one of them.
And then I can see MJ. Well, I want a Burberry one. I'm like, Jesus.
Well, hurt your neck then, dude. Break your neck and you'll get one.
And I should.
Splinter Fox does say, he goes, yeah. Get well late.
News.
Says, Baby Rock's time is not yet. Give him 2 more years. I mean, I don't know if he needs a full 2
more
years.
years.
I got you.
Oh, no.
He definitely shines in that company for sure. So I mean, we'll see.
I mean, come on. I think
I can't deny that it could take 2 years before he's like top, but I also can't deny that he's so good that he couldn't just one day soar. You know what I mean? Like it's tough to say.
I'm gonna say
it's
this.
Not all up to
better. Him. He's better, I think, than some people who've. Who they kind of push a little bit,
Exactly. And that's my point, is it's not all up to him. If it was strictly up to him and his talents and stuff, then we would see something else. So it could be 2 years.
Whoever's obsessed with Luchasaurus needs to get over that. He's just horrible.
They need to move on.
He
does say,
go on.
He goes, my dark horse champion would be Trent. He goes, Trent is so good, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. Trent and Scorpio Sky, to me, are the 2 biggest stars that they're not utilizing. They have 2 dudes in Trent and Scorpio Sky that could be your main event heavyweight championship bouts that would go down as classics that they are not utilizing in any way near where I think they could be. Those are the 2 most unfortunate causes on their roster.
I'd throw Hangman in there.
Sky.
To be honest.
Hangman. I can see that. Let's see. Trent's so good. He goes, Trent should be the one to beat Miro for the TNT title. He goes, neck injury, ding on hello. You don't want to force his return. I know you don't want to force his return. But, Stone Cold did a lot on TV when he had a broken neck.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, the last 2 things that happened was Miro cut a promo and Young Bucks had a match. Anything you want to say about those?
I don't know.
The only highlight out of that Miro Lance Archer thing was Lance Archer telling about how he was like the whole when you were still talking about a day for yourself. That was hysterical.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Wow.
The only thing I'm not getting is Jake Roberts now. Like, what is the point? If Lance Archer's cutting the promos now, what's Jake doing now? Nothing.
Jake just is there to be weird every once in a while and say weird things that don't make sense. That's all I can sum it up to.
That seems all right.
Yeah. But hey, if it's keeping him sober, then, more power to him.
That's true, too.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah. I will say the Bucks, though, I goddamn love the fucking Varsity Blondes. Let me just tell you. They're getting so much better. These were two that weren't, they were thrown together. And look how magical they are as a tag team. I don't want to see them wrestle individually. I want to see them as a tag team. And, they're just getting better and better. So, and the Bucks, shout out to being old school Bucks and wearing, what was it, fur on their thing when their entrance gear. Yeah, I'm loving it. So shout out to Brandon Cutler's wife. I can't remember her name, but shout out to her because she's been doing some cool, funky stuff.
Oh, she makes their gear and everything?
Oh, yeah, she's made their gear for a long time. They have another guy who does it, but she nails it. She totally nails it. It's great.
Yeah, I'm definitely for Varsity Blondes. I didn't know anything about Griff Garrison. I thought first time I seen him, again, I went with the same route as everyone. He's the Jungle Boy knockoff. He looks because he looks just like fucking Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
But Brian Pillman Jr., my God, how can you hate him? How can you hate that guy? Yeah. He's great. He's great. He's continuing the legacy of his family.
Yeah.
And he's phenomenal. And I like him and Griff together. Griff looks fucking great, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think they're a great team. If they don't win the tag titles at least once, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, they should. I think they're the Acclaimed really overshadows them, and it's really, in my opinion, it's just because dude raps. Max Caster raps and people think it's great, but that's not wrestling, and I think that have they had improvement? No, I haven't seen improvement there. So
that oral session's mine though.
I know.
I loved it.
That was good. I will say the raps are good, but after a while it's like are we going to do the gimmicky thing over and over again? I'm waiting for the day that Bowens hits him over the head with that boombox. Waiting for
I kind of would like. I'm kind of interested to see. Like, I would have liked to see if they would have brought the entire Shook crew in with Max Caster instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With Bobby Orlando and them. I think if Tony Khan had picked all them up, you could have even added Anthony Bowens. You could have had Shook crew before a 4-man group. I think they would have been great together.
Yeah.
The 4 of them. But Bucks, I'm 50-50 on the Bucks anymore. I'm souring on the Bucks quick because
a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I was a fan of the Bucks, but they're not really doing anything to make me really give a shit, really.
No.
All right.
Huh.
Spinner Fox does say, he said, "And damn it, Jungle Boy 2, stop just teasing us about him winning the big one." Yeah, they were slow playing Jungle Boy for sure. He said Varsity Blondes with the addition of Heart. I love it. Was that a musical edition or a person edition?
Does anyone even know anything about Julia Hart? Because I don't really either.
I don't either, but she looks really cute, doing her little cheerleader type of like flips. Yeah, I added more ambiance to what the greatness already is, because the two of them are already great. But then when you throw that in there just for like shits and gigs, I'm sold.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. It says Garrison got bigger, and that is a future world champion. I think it's possible. I think Garrison needs to be in this tag team because I think he does not stand out at all. And I think being part of a tag team this way he'll eventually break away. I think also he needs to cut his hair. Him looking like a bootleg Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy was there first, is only hurting him. If he cut his hair, he would stand out. I think the fact that everyone sees him and goes, is that like a Jack Jungle Boy? Like, that shouldn't be the conversation. Cut the hair, drop the conversation, make it about who the fuck is this guy. Make that the conversation, not who isn't this guy.
I think I said it on episode 1 that I think Griff needs to get a mullet.
I was about to say, just cut it the same length as Brian Pillman's.
Yeah, or no, the mullet. I want the mullet because that would make Eve be even more badass.
Disgusting.
Than it
Disgusting.
is.
I hate you both.
See him with a mullet.
Yeah, I know. It almost sometimes is like that when he puts it in his little part of it in his little bun. But yeah.
Spinner Fox says once you see him get bigger, that's when he'll go for a singles run. I think it's going to take him cutting his hair. To be honest,
it's going to be a long time.
Anything else though from AEW, guys?
No, just Dreamy Side.
Yeah, my only thing with it is, like I said earlier, it's just the show. Like I said, if you didn't watch the show, you didn't really miss much because you can kind of tell what's going to happen already. It's just,
dude, honestly,
it's like you said, it's not must see TV. Like it's not like must see. Like,
yeah.
Dude, to be honest, I can't think of a time when we didn't see a card without watching the show and didn't guess the winner at least a 95% success rate since they've started. It's all been pretty obvious most of the time. And when it's not obvious, it's one of those, are they going to do it on this match or the rematch? You know what I mean? Like with Moxley and Omega, it was always kind of like, is it going to be this match or the rematch? You know what I mean? It wasn't like... It wasn't like you didn't know who was going to win. You just didn't know if it was going to be this match or the next. And all the other ones, you're like, okay, this is definitely who's winning this one because they've got to move along. Like, it's pretty easily to objectively figure out exactly how they're booking without watching the show, which is a little frustrating. I think predictability can be fine in wrestling, but I think after 2 years of not guessing one wrong, that it's not as exciting, like you said. So like I said, I don't watch. I still look at the cards to see what they're going to be, and I make my guesses, and they're mostly right most of the time. Every now and again, there's one where I just don't know enough about either character to know what they're doing with them. So,
well, I think that like last week, the Bucks versus SCU. I think that for me, well, one, it should have been on Double or Nothing, but I didn't expect it to go down the way it did.
Yeah,
but
people are not thrilled about that.
Yeah, that was just me because I thought, oh, maybe, if they lose this, it would be humbling because there's these old farts that won it, and I don't know. They could have done a lot with it, but,
Cool.
Yeah.
Spinner Fox does say, I don't see Jungle Boy that much, so they might switch the roles and then have it rolls so it'll look like, it's Mini Garrison, which that would be fun.
No!
I just think Jungle Boy has so much star power that you can't deny, and Garrison's still fighting for that star power, so he needs to stand out a different way. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
Spinner Fox, the ghost of Luke Perry is going to come get you.
Nice.
Just saying. Just saying.
Well, let's talk NXT, guys.
Boy playing in the background the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll hear the 90210 theme.
Let's go ahead and let's hit up NXT. It did open up with Zoe Stark versus Toni Storm.
Jesus
How fucking
Christ.
good was this?
Man. Oh, the feels.
This match was so good. Here's the thing too, is when Toni Storm hit the perfect storm, I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's it on that. And Zoe kicked out. I know Zoe lost in short order with no offense in between, but I can't think of anyone besides Rhea Ripley or Kylie Ray to ever kick out of a perfect storm on WWE TV.
Yeah. It was, I was blown away. Like, that was like, man, it makes me feel sometimes like, man, if only AEW, their women were just not even a tenth, let's just say, of what the NXT women are, it would be a lot better than what we get now.
I'll be honest, matches like this is why I get the feeling that when Britt Baker's contract is up, she's going to NXT.
Well, how's her old man is there? Come on.
Well, but beyond that, who's Britt Baker gonna wrestle that's gonna elevate her like she would be able to elevate? Like, I mean, you can only get so good with what you have around you, right? She needs to be amongst top stars. With as good as she is, Britt Baker needs to be amongst the Toni Storms, the Sashas, the Charlottes, the Rheas, the Asukas. I mean, Io Shirai. Like, she needs to be in there with Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez. She needs to be in there to get to that other level that she probably doesn't even realize she can get to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying she will, because I do think there's part of her that is in love with the idea that AEW has backed her the way they have. And I think there's a loyalty factor there. But I also think that there's a static factor you get to. At what point do you say, I'm just carrying a division and I'm not getting better? Versus, if I'm going to grow and be a fucking phenomenon, where do I go and do that? Seeing matches like Toni Storm and Zoe Stark, especially knowing Zoe Stark just fucking 4 months ago was on Mission Pro Wrestling. You know? Unsigned.
Championship wrestling from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just an unsigned talent wandering around trying to find a spot. And here she is in a fucking rivalry with Toni Storm. Beats Toni Storm once or twice, I can't remember. I think it was once in a tag and once in singles. And then, you know, loses in a way where she looks stronger than almost anyone that Toni's ever gone up against. She is now in, as far as the Toni story arc goes, she's now in the same category as a Rhea and a Kylie Ray, which is amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Like Amanda said, she said that the AEW division, women's division, wishes they were like 1/10 the like NXT's division, but like I said, NXT's division is the best women's division right now. I used to say it was Impact's, but I still think I think it's all NXT now with the best women's division, because their women they kill it every time.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Even that jobber girl who came out to barely sneak a win over Toni looked amazing. Like, what?
Zeta Ramir, yes.
Yeah, Zeta. It was amazing. This one, just because we like to talk fashion here, we're a high fashion show as well as a drinking show. Toni's gear looked fucking on point. I think she should rock the pants more.
She looked amazing.
Something about when she rocks the pants, I think she looks stellar. I think she should keep rocking the pants.
I think
producer said that she also thinks that she doesn't adjust her ring gear as much when she's wearing in pants, which can be one of her points of contention. She'll be watching matches and go, she keeps messing with her gear. I'm like, I didn't even know what you do. But it's something she notices, you know.
Producer ladies like me, except I'm always like, Ricky, quit digging your butt out of your things. Go back to booty shorts.
Quit digging your butt out of your butt.
Yeah,
like Owen Hart, I'm gonna kick the leg out of your leg.
Yeah, but I don't know. Toni Storm, to me, she looks really like, I don't know. She looks really stumpy and short when she has the other gear.
Disproportionate.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right for whatever reason.
She looks. I think that's true. She looks shorter. She does look a little like almost more pit bullish with shorts, where with the pants, maybe she seems a little bit taller, a little bigger in that regard. So I could see that. But yeah, I thought she looked amazing. Splinter Fox does say Indy Hartwell is the women's division. Don't at me, son of a bitch. I can't even at him. And he says Dunn sucks. Oh, Pete Dunn?
Yeah, he's got horrible tanner.
His tanner is bad, dude.
Dude, it looks like he has contour on his face. Like, dude, with
the worst part is in matches sometimes it'll rub off on the other guy and they have these weird orange streaks. I'm like, fuck, dude, stop.
Like,
stop
come on.
Or dude, he could have fucked up anything on and I would not want to piss him off. The motherfucker snaps my fingers with an
problems. That's true.
It's a good point. If he shook my hand and I looked at the palm of my hand and there was a bunch of weird bronzer in it, and I looked up at him and he goes, "What?" Nothing. I was going to say thank you again and leave. You know what I mean?
Wow. But two people that I think are really horrible with their tanner, and one is Guevara, because he all the time has patches. Like, and it's uneven and whatever. MJF, actually there's three. MJF, because when you look at his hands, have you ever noticed how like his knuckles and like certain parts of his hands have these weird, like, it just doesn't look right. There's something weird about it. And even sometimes on his face, yeah, bad tanner. And then the third has to go to Colt Cabana. Why? Because I've seen him literally, when he has his tanner, he's sweating so much, it's like, it's dripping off. And you can see it. It's like, you see his whiteness underneath, and it's like, dude, no. And just inside baseball, we gave him some of the best tanner that was in the world. My friend bought him some, and I was like, dude, you're gonna get dark with this. He didn't know how to use it, so of course he wasted almost all of it. But yeah, bro, no, back it off.
Okay, everybody calm down.
Everybody calm down.
Aggression
Calm
t-shirts.
down with that. Calm down with the spray tan. Okay, I know y'all buy it from Sally Beauty Supply because that's no secret, in the indies. But
Splitter Fox says Colt buys cheap tanner, he saves his money. Yeah, I mean, he has to save his money ever since
I know that.
Yeah.
Come on, I've only been a fan for what now, 8-9 years? Yeah, totally cheap.
All right. Pointless Aggression t-shirts available at prowrestling.com/wrestling.
And I have one. I was gonna wear it. But...
Hey, did you get the package I sent you?
I haven't been home, but I saw that
Okay.
I got a package, and I knew it was coming from you, and I was like, I think I know what's in here, and
Yeah.
I haven't been home, so
All right.
I will get it Saturday.
All right. Let's see. Anything else, Justin, you want to say about Toni Storm or Zoe Starks? This match was
That
fucking
crazy,
stellar. I
insane
loved it.
finishers that she has now, whatever the hell that was. That
Yeah.
bizarre
It was like some sort of
hip brain buster, whatever the fuck it was.
I thought of it
My
as like
God.
a hip toss tornado DDT is how I was able to function it.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It was insane. I wish you would call it the Eye of the Storm.
that would be cool.
That would be great.
All right, good. I'm glad we're on the same page here. Spinner Fox, Eye of the Storm. Yay, nay. Need your vote. He does say Colt's the man. Love his Twitch channel. I hear he's a good guy.
I'm excited. I'm going to plug his podcast here. He's podcasting again, and I personally podcast Colt is the best Colt. And it's called Wrestling. What is it? Wrestling? I don't know. Bad fan. But anyways, it's a new one that he's doing, and you can actually call in. I think is the premise, and you can tell. It's for fans mostly, but you can tell stories about people. So. People are like, are you going to call in? I go, he knows my voice. So he's not going to put any of that on there. He's like, good God, what does the man
He
have to
answers
say
the
now?
phone and hears you, and you're all like, long time listener, first time caller, and he just hangs up on you.
I know.
He's just all like,
Wow.
you're not hearing stories from her. You're not going to
He
hear stories
would-
from her ever. Never call
would-
back. You know?
He would do something like that. Yeah, he would.
I almost thought
Spinner Fox
Amanda
says
was going to call it the Boom Boom Podcast.
Boom.
No, it was
It
like
should be boom boom into the room.
Oh, I think it's like wrestling. Oh Lord.
Spin Fox asking, he goes, of what Eye of the Storm? Eye of the Storm is the new Tony. I want to call that Tony Storm has a new finisher. I want it to be called the Eye of the Storm. If you look at like the NXT Twitter, they have GIFs of it and stuff. But he goes, yep. He shouted out on Ethan Page vlog this week. Can't wait for his podcast again. Man, you guys suck.
Yeah.
Sean Waltman has a podcast, guys. Pro Wrestling for Life podcast. Check it out. He's got a new episode dropped today with Jeff Jarrett. It's fantastic. And I'm on the team. I've started editing for them, so it's very cool stuff. Let's see. The next spot in NXT was the Prime Target with Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor. How fucking crazy was this?
Nailed the hell out of it. They nailed. They always nail it with the freaking videos.
Yeah. Well, you know who it is. Shout out to him, Giancarlo Dietmo. He's the one who did, if anyone remembers, Janelle, the original Spring Break ones, and a lot of the video things that Janelle is done, because that's his homie. He does some great stuff. And I was kind of bummed that he went to WWE, but you know what? He's doing some great shit over there. So shout out to you, Giancarlo. Cheers.
Yep. Yo, this vignette to hype up Cross and Balor, and the way that they were calling it Cross Balor 2, the fact that they interviewed Paul Heyman, Pat McAfee, Jimmy Smith.
Well,
the
I know
fact that
that's why
Paul
you
Heyman,
liked it.
because of the way they presented it, I was like, this feels like a big money fight. This feels like Mayweather, Conor McGregor, but like, I wouldn't say bigger, but like, I mean, it feels like that level of importance where people like gotta know and everyone's gotta have a side. The fact that Paul Heyman's all like, yeah, Roman Reigns is watching this match. He wants to know. The fact he goes, I usually give spoilers, not predictions. And he goes, this one's too close to call. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
This feels like a fucking big fight. This feels like it's a Showtime exclusive. The way that they're presenting it, and I thought that was fucking insane. So good.
Oh yeah.
The fact that they were using main roster guys to talk about this like it's the talk of the industry is the way they're presenting it was so fucking cool. So cool. And the fact that Cross and Balor, I think, is still, in my book, one of the matches of the year. I saw that on my list of match of the year contenders. It was absolutely fucking incredible. The idea of them doing the second one, I have a feeling those guys are going to try and top it. They're not going to do less than.
I think they'll go extremely over the top because they know what they can do and what they did.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think they're gonna end up having way more in this match than they did their first one, because by the way they have this, so like how big of a fight this feels, there's gonna be so much more to this than there was the first time.
Yeah,
and they're hyping it like it's a fucking pay-per-view. It's insane.
Oh yeah.
And not even one of those all like it's an important match, pay-per-view worthy. They're hyping it like this is the match to watch if you watch one match all year. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like that's the way they're talking about it. It's so fucking dope.
Nice little twist. What if Finn brings the demon for this one?
Oh wow. Didn't think about that.
It'd be fascinating. I think it wouldn't be bad.
That'd be crazy if he fucking brought the demon out for this one.
Yeah. He might.
That was his whole thing with the promos with carrying before. He said the difference between you and me is I have control of my demons, and you let your demons control you. It was like kind of a nod to the demon thing. But just saying you have control of it doesn't mean you don't ever need it.
Just think if Cross beats the demon, how much bigger that is for Cross.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I think that's absolutely a possibility, and especially if like the Cross were to beat Demon, or if Cross were to beat the Demon, and if Balor were to show up back on the main roster, it would be 100%. Like, yeah, that may or may not have ever happened in the main roster lore, but whenever Cross makes it up to the main roster, because he will, I think he's too big for the NXT anyways. He's already got this lure about him where he beat the Demon. Recently even. So if they ever got face to face in like, let's say a Royal Rumble, there'd be that moment of everyone going like, oh shit, could be fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love this video package, man. It was so good. I did forget to mention one thing. After the Toni Storm match, Frankie Monet came out. I liked her music. I got a kick out of it. She wears weird stuff. It just looks like it was just weird. But apart from that, next week we're going to get a debut of Frankie Monet. I love the way that she's like trying to seem overly friendly to all of the women's roster and comes off real fucking different than that. Like, I love it. I'm excited to see what this match is going to be, even though we have no idea what's going to be. Anything you want to say about the Frankie Monet spot real quick?
Are you making fun of her outfits?
No, it's just she wears like weird like baggy. It's almost like fucking pillowcases. They just look weird to me. I just don't get it.
Well, okay. First of all,
she's a curvy woman.
Yeah, she's thyroid problems like me.
I'm not saying she got to wear anything skin tight. It's these weird ruffles that get me. I go, what is happening?
It's the style. I don't know.
I'm not good with styles. That's fine.
Do you ask John Morrison why he's obsessed with fur?
Yeah, I think he wears stupid clothes and his hair looks awful.
Well, that's his thing. Leave him alone. And Boone the Bounty Hunter was a great movie, by the way. I think so.
All right.
Hot take.
I'm not saying it looks bad. It's just when I see it, I go, "What is that?" And then I just forget about it. Move on.
Not everybody can dress like, I don't know who's a well-dressed
Bayley
person in wrestling
with the turtlenecks and stuff.
Yeah, with the turtlenecks, yeah. Or or even not only that, but like, let's go there. I mean, because honestly, she isn't known for her wrestling. She probably wears, better clothing than her wrestling is. But even Marie,
yeah, she's a supermodel. She said so. Super role model
or whatever. Wait, she's stealing that from the doctor, the DMD.
No, fuck no. Stop. What are you doing? No, Bayley was the role model.
He goes, no.
I was talking about Eva Marie, and I was like, what? No. Okay, sorry.
But then, damn it.
Sorry. Hashtag.
Britt Baker stole that from Bayley, and it was obvious. It happened like 3 months after the fact.
Okay, sorry. I thought
she took it like 3 months after the fact. It was already on Bayley's gear, and then fucking Britt Baker's like, I'm a role model, and get the fuck out of here.
I'm getting schooled. Sorry, folks.
Splitter Fox should have a fucking problem with it too. He goes on and on about how good Britt is, but he knows how good Bayley is. Fucking, she steals that. Get out of here. He goes, oh man, Baby Rock is on a 3-year berry now.
Come on.
Leave him alone.
Yeah,
okay,
leave him out of there.
He's still
Baby.
hurt, damn it.
Don't you dare.
Poor guy. He wears shoes that fall off his feet because why are you gonna wear fucking slide loafer things when you're going to go in a ring, wrestling ring? Yeah, come on, safety. But no, poor guy.
He sits in chairs like this, for God's sake.
He does.
That's a good point.
He does.
Love that.
All right, Justin.
He does.
Justin, what do you think about the Frankie spy and then the Karrion and Balor stuff?
I'm looking forward to Frankie's debut next week for sure. Like, she's going to be an immediate, like, big name for that division, and I can't wait to see who they got up their sleeve on who her first opponent's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
my wild guess.
I'm very curious.
Zoe
That's what I thought too, but I feel like it's a bad time to give it to Zoe. You know what I mean? I feel like you got to go somebody else, but I don't know.
Why do you feel that way?
Because Zoe's on a crazy trajectory. She's beaten Toni Storm. She barely just lost to Toni, so it's like, but she beat Toni on the way there. She's had matches and losses against Saray and Io. We can't have Zoe. I guess we could. If Zoe has been on the indies for long enough that she's really here to put over new talent and look super strong, like Jobber of the Stars, and become a coach at NXT, I guess it's absolutely possible. I just feel like Zoe looks like $1 million out there, and I feel like you don't hamper that. But I guess now that you mention it, she lost to Io, she lost to Saray, she lost to Toni. She's lost big matches, so getting a few big wins, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just to make her look good. So I don't know. I guess you're right on that one. Amanda, what do you think about all this? What do you think about the Karrion Kross and Finn Balor stuff?
Oh, that just was that. I was just kind of speechless. I mean, that was great. I mean, I don't know what it is lately really about. I mean, I think we talked about this on episode 1, but I don't know what it is lately about these promo packages that are on NXT and how good a lot of these ones are. And that's the takeaway I get from that. And I'm like, whoa, like I watched it like 2-3 times because I thought it was that good, so that's exciting. Love to see the Demon if it happens. And then, I don't know. Frankie Monet is interesting.
Go ahead.
She's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with her. But it remains to be seen. I think her first opponent probably is, I'm just saying this because she can, pretty much just get over, is I think Aaliyah. I don't know why, but I have this feeling that it's going to be her, and then we have to be subjected to Robert Stone, and yeah. So
Yeah, I could see.
I see that's where it's going.
That for sure. Yeah, what'd you guys think about their use of like Paul Heyman and Pat McAfee and stuff, and the fact they had Jimmy on there as an NXT analyst?
I know you were excited.
Dude, I loved it. I was just like, holy shit.
You were on a cloud.
Yo, I was like out of it. Like I was watching it and I was so engrossed in it that like it took a while into that video before I even like what?
Dreamy sigh. You had that moment too.
Yeah, we're just all like,
that's what it is. Dreamy sigh. Okay, that's a new thing.
Yeah. And then when Paul gave that smirk and said it's too close to call, I almost like snapped out of it at that moment and was all like, fuck, what are they doing? This is incredible. Like it was next level TV production to me. So
yeah,
I just loved it.
Again.
It was insane. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The graphic looked like a Rocky movie like title. It was awesome.
Dude, oh my God. Dude, I could watch that kind of stuff all the time. Let's see, right before that happened, they did show Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell doing the spa day thing, and Dexter Lumis was like rubbing on Indy's head and then walked away all sad, and I was not feeling any of this Candice and Indy stuff at all. Are you guys into it?
Nope. It was boring. Didn't need to
It's
happen.
boring and childish to me. It feels like it's written by high schoolers. And then it feels like it's also acted by high schoolers.
Exactly.
Am I way off on that one, Justin? Justin, what do you think?
No, I was all right with it. You
can disagree. You can say I'm wrong. It's fine to say that.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was because as soon as she said that Dexter's a loser and all that stuff, and he was like all sad and walked away, and I'm like, no, this can't be. You can't be doing this now. I'm like, we've gotten this far into it. We're stopping this now? I was like, fuck. You know?
Yeah.
I was almost disappointed. And then when they came back to the second one and Candice got busted, I was like, yes, it's still happening. This is great. I'm very happy now. I was like, now we can, I'm like, just can we get to the part where they're going to be a couple? Like, come on. I want to see it. I just want to see it so bad. It's hysterical to watch.
All right. If you're loving it, that's totally fine. What do you think about, do you find the acting even campy, or do you think it actually comes out pretty good?
I think it comes out pretty good. Like Indy especially is really doing great. Like the whole part with her where she did the fake faint. She's laying on there. Dexter scooped her up, and then she was like, "Hey, I'm good to go with this here." I love that. That was great, and I think she's nailed it so far with this. It's just the whole she wants to talk to him, she wants to be around him, she wants to kiss him, but Candice is just preventing it, and it's fucking Candice and Johnny are absolutely fucking hysterical with this shit. They're the freaking protective parents right now, and I get a laugh at it every time. Especially during the like where Candice called the cops and she's pacing back and forth in the camera, and I laugh so fucking hard. I'm like, and then Johnny's screaming, "Tell him he kidnapped our son," and I'm like, this is fucking hysterical.
All right.
I love that whole.
Tell me some of your favorite movies, because I'm guessing you're gonna throw out like Beethoven and Sandlot, anything from the early '90s. Three Ninjas, I'm thinking's on your list.
Oh God. I don't really have like specific movies that people will be like, yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. You can just throw movies on and I'll go, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm thinking Surf Ninjas is one of yours.
Me?
No, Justin. Have you ever seen Surf Ninjas? Surf Ninjas?
No, I don't. I actually haven't.
I want you to Google it. I want you to watch it.
Got it.
What do you think? What do you think one of my favorite movies would be?
Army of Darkness.
I've never seen that.
No, you don't like death matches anyways.
Yeah.
That movie is fucking hysterical.
Let me see. Next up, we had Cameron Grimes versus Jake Atlas. Amanda, I was thinking about you on this one. What did you think of this match?
Okay. This one actually, I was very surprised with, and the reason why I say that is because it was something on it was on the indies. Like if people hadn't gotten signed when they did, I think that would have been on PWG. That was the first thing I got out of it. The second thing is, man, they just do not know how to use Jake Atlas very well. And I was like, man, they really don't know how to use Cameron Grimes very well. And I was loving it. I just really enjoyed it. I know that one of the things I've always thought about with Jake Atlas at NXT is it's like, all right, how are they going to use you? You know, like what's going to happen? Because I think there may be some like retooling, kind of like what they're doing with Swerve. Like they have to kind of retool him and give him something to, I don't know, make him legit or whatever. But I think that, but I thought it was an awesome match. It was really good. I couldn't complain about it. And I just thought, the whole Cameron Grimes thing is just so, that's just gold. Whoever thought that needs a raise, beyond a raise. They need some kind of I don't know, a bonus that's to the moon, because it was that good. He's that good. I wish WWE would make those buddies again and make a Cameron Grimes one. I would so buy it.
That'd be fucking great.
Yeah. Him and yeah. And then I'd have
like
to find
a wrestling buddy, but it's Grimes and he's got the DiBiase belt though. Would you?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. The hat. You have to have the hat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine like a little like pillow hat that kind of slides on top of its head? But so yeah, coming out, Cameron Grimes did a little retake on the $1 Million Man's entrance with him losing a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. And this match happens. It does what it does. I liked it for the most part. I felt like a couple spots were really clever. I thought a couple spots were just slightly clunky, but I also feel like we don't see these guys in the ring a lot, so it could make sense for a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. It was still pretty cool. And then at the end of it, $1 Million Man comes out, talks some shit. Cameron loses, and then $1 Million Man is out there just laughing and stuff.
I love
He's rolled up in a limo with a dollar bill on a dollar sign on it. Justin, what do you think about this whole segment here with $1 Million Man and Cameron Grimes, and then even followed up by Cameron Grimes rushing to the outside? He tries to get into the limo.
Oh, I love that.
He pops the door open because it's actually not locked and was supposed to be locked clearly. So he slams it back shut, moves his hand into the way so it could look like he's struggling with it, and has a little bit of a hard time struggling with it. But I was all like, look, it didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. It clearly was live because you would have redone it otherwise. And that was quick thinking. You know what I mean? Like, he did what he could. And I thought that was cool in that regard, but also kind of like, ugh, it did not look good. You know what I mean? But you did the best you could, and you thought fast. Justin, what do you think about all of it? Go ahead. What was that?
I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the match. It was great. I love Cameron Grimes. Jake Atlas is phenomenal. I want to see more of him. I wish they'd use him more. Yeah. But the whole thing with Ted DiBiase is absolutely hysterical. Whoever thought of this, I fucking applaud you for this because it's hysterical to watch. It is fucking hysterical. But I wish I could even think even a slightest bit of what the hell is going to happen with this. I have nothing. But I fucking love it. It's so funny to watch. It's so enjoyable. Just every time DiBiase gets this one up on him and he just leaves Cameron Grimes standing there going, that damn Ted DiBiase. And I'm like, I fucking love it. It's just fucking hysterical.
I don't know why, but the fact he calls him Ted DiBiase is funny to me. Like, because we all call him the $1 Million Man, but he calls him Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't call him Theodore or some shit, you know?
No.
At least they ain't told him to kiss his grits yet. That'd be freaking.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
I mean, they said there's going to be a face-to-face next week, which is really interesting because, like you said, it's one of those times where you just can't figure out exactly what they're doing because they can't do a match, could they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they do a match, is it going to be $1 Million Man coaching someone else, or do they create an alliance here, or do they double down? Like, it does feel interesting in that it's one of the few things that happens on there where you just have no fucking clue where it's going because none of it makes sense, and they would be willing to do any of it. You know what I mean? None of it seems off the table, but none of it makes sense. But for whatever reason, it works every time.
Yeah.
Easiest thing to do. Bring Ted Jr. back.
Yeah, that's where I think it's going to go. But,
have him
That's
defend the $1 million title against
Yeah.
Cameron Grimes. Grimes wins the $1 million title.
I still am
Actually,
waiting
that
for
would
Virgil.
Be sick.
Yeah.
That would
I'm
be
waiting for
sick if
Virgil
they
to
brought
come.
back the $1 Million title.
Uh-huh.
Virgil's not coming back. He put his nuts online. Spinnerbox says he can't, but his son can. Yeah, like you could have DiBiase Jr. come out.
I said
I
that
get it.
episode 1.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I believe you said that. I mean, we'll see. All of it seems very possible, and all of it seems far-fetched, which is what I love about it.
Yeah. But I don't know.
What do you think about
If it doesn't-
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, if that little banjo-ish type of riff doesn't get you excited because you know what's coming on, then you have no soul.
Josiah Williams killed that theme music. He fucking
Mhm.
did
He did.
amazing with that.
That was like the best. That's like, I think if there was any like theme song right now of current wrestlers that, is that probably is the number one. I think nothing can top that. It's just like, it's got that weird Kid Rock thing, which I don't know. I enjoy it heavily.
What do you guys think about the spot with the limo where you're struggling with the door?
You know what I was going to say? I laughed, but you know what I was going to add to it? Like, you're like, oh, it looked kind of bad, but they did what they could with it. You know what? That's kind of the charm, I think, of Cameron Grimes. And I think it adds more to it being funny than it should be. But I don't know. I die. I thought that was great. But
I didn't notice that he had his hand on the door until somebody pointed it out. Until somebody pointed it out on Twitter. They're like, did anybody realize Cameron Grimes had his hand on the door the whole time? And I'm like, you know what? That just makes it even funnier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's even better.
Yeah.
And that's been Clump's thing about Grimes is the more we point out these little details, the more he hopes it's all real. Like it's all intentional because it started off with the shitty sports car that was like old and not good, and he was mad at first. Clump was like, "That's bullshit. If you had that much money, why would you buy that car? You'd buy a better car." And I was like, "Because if I had that much money, I'd buy a Dodge Viper." And he went, "Oh, I see exactly what you're saying now." And he was like, "Because someone who grew up without money, who suddenly gets a bunch of money, is going to buy their favorite Hot Wheel, not actually a good car." And then when the watch thing came about, Cameron Grimes was looking at a $30,000 watch. $1 Million Man shows up with a gaudy, actually reduced in priced watch because it'd been blinged out. So it was a $5,000 watch. And Grimes was pissed because he didn't have the more sparkly one. And so Clump's like, I love it on the level that he wants the shittier things and doesn't even realize it. You know? Like...
Yeah.
So the idea he could be holding himself out,
Yeah. That's why we love Cameron Grimes. I mean,
Cameron Grimes.
I get it. You guys get it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's only one place he's going.
Let's see this. Yeah. I'm excited to see where it goes. And it's one of those things where the segment's been the same segment for like 8 weeks. And for whatever reason, it's good every time. You know? Like most of the time we see stuff over and over again. We're like, this is getting repetitive. Even with like Lily and Alexa, which we think has been acted out very well, there's definitely a point of it where the last couple of weeks has been like, okay, it's more of the same. We need something to change. With Cameron Grimes, we're like, it's more of the same. I never wanted to change.
It's like, I need more.
Yeah.
Okay, can we make the segment a
Play it
little
back.
longer?
Yeah, play it back. I can eat pizza every day. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's see. After that, we had Pete Dunne in an interview. I loved that Pete Dunne interview.
I didn't listen
Although
to it.
He does sound like Ringo Starr more and more. Breathe me, Ryan. And I felt like he was kind of baby facing it in there. He was trying to like say nice things and smile a little bit, but he was also being like, "I don't
That's
care."
creepy. Don't smile,
Yeah.
Pete Dunne.
That's true. That's true. I'll
Don't
give you
smile.
that. You didn't hear it. Justin, did you listen to it?
Yeah, the gist I got was he's still got his eye on the NXT title.
Yeah.
The whole interview just feels like it was just so you know. It's like just so you know, Pete Dunne's here. We're not forgetting Pete Dunne. It was just an interview to let you know Pete Dunne's still here, and that's it.
And he's still being taken seriously, which is nice. Sometimes it's good just to have that. So,
I think
let's see. Alexander Wolff.
The self
Go ahead.
tan. It's the
No, the
self
self-tan's got
tan.
to go.
That I think that was probably what made me like not be interested in what he had to say.
All I
Yeah,
know is if we
absolutely.
ever get Dunne versus Cross, I am all for
Oh, that'll be amazing.
it. I can't wait for that. If that ever happens, I swear I'm gonna love it.
I want Ciampa and Cross. Is
Again,
another one.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Thatcher Cross would be dope.
Ooh.
Let's see. Killian Dane had a match with Alexander Wolff. Dane won, and then Imperium beat the shit out of Alexander Wolff, and then
Well, that's why he's
Alexander
gone
Wolff
now.
was fired the next day. Yeah,
Makes sense.
Oh,
that's
no.
the kind of poll they have.
Oh, poor guy.
That's their poll. What do you think about this? I liked it. It was overall good. I liked the whole thing. I thought the story was going to keep going. Now we see that it's not, so I'm a little shook by it all.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I had to say about that. What do you think about it, Amanda?
Yeah. Now knowing that he was released today, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, it kind of, I don't want to say it ruins it. It kind of puts a
What a way to
damper on
die.
it. I thought, because I was like, oh, this is kind of good. I'm kind of into the, now it's like, oh, I don't know. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But yeah, I mean, I liked where it was going to go, but now for me, it's weird.
What do you think, Justin?
It's crazy how now there's only 2 members of Sanity, and it's the one that's the couple left, and that's crazy. Like Eric Young's gone, now Wolf's gone. Freaking Sawyer Fulton, Madman Fulton was when he was in the group originally is gone. Like holy shit, Sanity was a great group, but I don't know how the fuck they fucked that up. Holy shit. But it was crazy because I didn't expect that. I thought they were just kicking him out of the group. I didn't know it was going to be something that was going to end up, him getting written off and then completely getting removed from the company. That was fucking nuts. But
yeah, it was so crazy.
It's interesting because now they have an opportunity to add another member.
It felt sort of like when the club got murdered by the Undertaker and then they got let go, and you're like, well, shit. Like, I guess they're really dead then.
Yeah.
What a way to die. Let's see. After that, we had Legado del Fantasma versus Thatcher and Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, yes.
This was fucking wild. This was
Damn. Tim Thatcher just scares me when he smiles.
Yeah, he's got the scariest smile in the world.
Well, yeah, and he's a kind of scary man. I can see that. I mean, I also know another side of Thatcher. It's like, how could that man be this like scary when he smiles? Even like in a non-wrestling setting, when he smiles, it's still like, oh God, this is like scary. But I cannot tell you how much I love Legado del Fantasma. I'm like, every time I see them now, I'm just like more and more, I'm getting sold. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on that one.
Yep.
And I can see why.
Phenomenal faction. Phenomenal faction.
Mm-hmm.
Those all three of them.
All
Santos
three.
Escobar is amazing. Like I said, I've seen him from when he was El Hijo del Fantasma from like AAA and all that, like in Lucha Underground and all that. But when he took the mask off, didn't know what the hell was happening, but it's worked. It's been amazing. He's still got that mob boss mentality with those two, and with Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, and I love it.
I think it would be a disservice to all three of them if like one of them, like if they kind of get separated, because I think all three of them need to go. If they go up, I think that would be amazing, one, but they all at the same time would need to go up to the main roster together, because if not, I don't think it won't work. I feel like that.
I mean, look at Joaquin Wilde. He was having a singles run before the group got together, and it was just awful. Mm-hmm. And he had the worst gear ever. He looked like an idiot, like missed like Ant-Man kind of a deal. It was terrible.
Oh, poor DJZ.
It was just, that's what I mean. It was awful. It didn't work at all. Then they put him in here, and it was great.
I got that. I guess I see you, Justin. That was like one of the best things about seeing him on that last indie run, that he was in. Yeah, that was great. And especially, I was somewhere. Where was it? I think it was Chicago, where the sound guy was like totally like just awful. So everyone booed him, and then the audience just did it, and it was great. I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah.
I mean, look how good it's helped Raul Mendoza too.
Mm-hmm.
He used to he was teamed with Humberto for the longest time in NXT, and then Humberto got called up, and Raul was just kind of just
there,
lifeless. Yeah. And then now it's him and Joaquin Wilde is amazing together.
Yeah.
The match with Ciampa and Thatcher is great because the meshing of styles is crazy. You got that stiff brawlers, the two stiff brawlers versus the high flyers, and I like it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Let's see. I don't want to get caught up on too much of this stuff for too long. Splinter Fox did say in the chat, because we do read what goes on in the chat. You guys can join us at WrestlingOnUs.com, twitch.tv/WrestlingOnTheRocks. He says they brought Sanity to the main roster. That's what happened, which I think is a non-argument. It just doesn't make sense or hold up when you look at WrestleMania this year. And I think all of it was something like all but 2 matches had people exclusively who went through the NXT system. So it doesn't even make sense. And even then, I think I heard that every match had at least one person who went through the NXT system, including the Raw Tag Team Championship match. New Day, Omos, and AJ almost went through the NXT system. He just didn't end up on their TV. But almost every single other match had people who went through NXT exclusively. So it just doesn't make sense as an argument. You can't say that like going to the main roster is a death sentence for NXT talent when their entire main roster main event scene is NXT talent. It's not the argument. There's plenty of arguments to be made, but that's not it. Let's see. Oh, they had the Raquel Gonzalez Dakota Kai promo, and Everrise came out, and they're just so shitty comedy to me that I just fast forwarded through it and moved along. Did you guys watch it or pay attention to it?
No.
Yeah, Everrise is just they're the joke team.
I have no interest in them.
No, I think I missed it because I walked away, whatever. But yeah. Didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, there's nothing really with it.
All right. I thought it was unfortunate to put Dakota Kai and Raquel with them. Let's see, we had Bobby Fish call out Pete Dunne, which seemed fine. So they'll have a match coming up. It'll be cool.
So excited. Love Bobby Fish.
Yeah. I do too. It's funny, while we were watching it, producer's like, he looks like he's 45. And I was like,
he is.
Is he really that old?
He pulled it up.
Yeah.
He's 44.
She's older.
Oh, I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is one
Yeah.
of my favorite.
Because he doesn't look it. He looks a hell of a lot younger than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He has
he's
one of my
44.
favorite shirts ever. That I
That is
love.
cool.
I made into a tank top. It has it's like a dictionary. It says infamous, and there's the definition, and then the bottom line is it says Bobby Fish.
That's
funny.
It's a cool. I have to dig it out somewhere, and show you. But that's one of my favorite indie shirts. Yeah, it was really cool.
Let's see, we had Saray versus Aaliyah, which it was a fine match, but also kind of did nothing for me. It was kind of a static thing. We were like, okay,
Yeah.
Saray's going to get a match, and she's going to look good.
It's just they're having Saray job. I
thought
mean,
Saray won. Saray won.
Well, no, but she's beating all these jobbers. I mean, sorry. That I'm just like, give her at least someone who will, it'll spark interest.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get us used to her being on TV or something weird. So it was one of the things where it's like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's a good match. I don't need to focus on it though.
Yeah, but
So, we'll see how it goes.
where the heck is Xia Li?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The hell NXT. I miss Xia Li.
Yeah, and hello NXT. It is Asian Pacific Islander month.
Last time we saw them was what? They were doing their fucking Bohemian Rhapsody looking like promo like backstage. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'm like, where's this?
All you saw was their heads, and I thought they were going to start singing freaking, "Is this the real life?" And I'm like, what? Wait a second.
That would have been great. That would have been so great.
So good.
Or I thought it was, like Disney World. They had it at Disneyland, but Disney World, the Country Bear Jamboree, and you have the three, like the moose, the buffalo, and then the deer or the elk or whatever. I thought that was kind of like that too. And I'm like, talking animals.
I mean, it's true. Xia Li is fucking crazy. I kind of hope Xia Li, I mean, although they did that segment like you said, but I was hoping she'd come back with Aleister Black at some crazy thing. Like they would just zoom out or something and he would be there and they would all three be behind him. And it would be like a thing. Like that could be sick. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Xia Li. I think everything she does on TV is fucking captivating.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. Let's see, there's only 2 more segments left in the show, so let's get through it. Hit Row. Hit Row comes out. They do their entrance thing. You had Top Dollar and Ashanti the Adonis versus Tony Nese and Arya Daivari. Yo, how fucking strong did Top Dollar look when he fucking overhead threw that guy with his arm?
He stuck out like a fucking sore thumb there. He was the fucking absolute star of that night.
Yeah.
I was shocked at the innovation of power moves we saw because I felt like we've seen at this point all the power moves you can have. And so you see typical power moves. You go, oh, a big dude's going to do a big power move like this. And the way he innovated power moves, so much so that a lot of times those dudes will stack 2 dudes on him and do a fall away slam. But he didn't do that. He went forward and did like a forward slam on both of them. And it was all the difference. I love this guy right now. He is a beast. He's innovative, and he's figured out a way to make himself look bigger and stronger in a way we've never seen.
It's kind of like he's like the I think him and like Will Hobbs are on that same trajectory of these bigger guys that really can harness their power and do something huge.
It's pretty quick too, though.
Yeah, that I noticed too. It's like, wow. When big guys can haul ass, it always amazes me. I don't know why.
But that's just it too, is big guys doing small guy moves is still impressive to a point, but it's also big guys doing small guy moves is not the same as a power move, right?
True.
These are big guys doing big guy moves in a way that I haven't seen big guy moves done before.
Yeah.
So it's a guy harnessing his power to do something that looks powerful, where these other guys harness their speed to do something that looks agile, that just happens to have a lot of weight behind it, looks impressive, but it doesn't necessarily look as powerful. You know what I mean? So that's what I liked about him is he didn't do anything that agile. He really didn't. He was fast, but he wasn't agile. But he was powerful. And he grabbed you and threw you. And that was dope.
Yeah, I was like, I had to rewind to see that again because I was like, ah. Yeah.
And his finish move was like a variation of the AA into a suplex. And that was sick.
It looks like the Rude Bomb when Bobby Roode used to do it in Impact.
I got you. I mean, overall, we talked about it before. The presentation of it seemed a little bit off and wasn't quite for us. I'm starting to dig, I think, the Isaiah Swerve package in its entirety. Like, I don't think I'm the target audience per se, but I do think there's room for this character in this world. And I think this idea of this guy who does music producing as his hobby because he's actually a professional wrestler and bringing that into the ring a little bit, I do think it's still a little funny that while someone's cutting a promo, the other people have mics and they're throwing in their little like, yeah, what? You know it. Like you would get in an old fucking 90s rap album. I do think that's funny, but I think there's absolutely a place for it. And I think it's working really well. I think Amanda, if I remember correctly, you, me, and Clump all weren't sure about how we felt about it after we saw it last week. How do you feel about it this week?
We weren't sure. Yeah, now it makes a little bit more sense to me, and I'm like, okay, I get it. But I don't know, maybe it was because in that studio setting, you're like, okay, well, all right, it's gonna be like a little backstage segment all the time, and not, yo, here we are, and everyone, had a little roll. So I was kind of like, wow, okay. I'd be curious to see more.
It gives me NXT version of the Acclaimed to me, which I like, which I think I can go with.
Yeah.
Because Swerve, you got Swerve, who's phenomenal.
Yeah.
AJ Francis, freaking top dollar guy, looks like he could just tear you apart.
Oh, yeah.
John the Adonis is kind of my iffy guy because he just doesn't, I don't know what it is. Wasn't really like clicking with him too much.
From his character, I agree, but in ring, I was impressed by him. I was like, oh shit. The way the match started with Adonis and Nice, I was kind of like, oh shit, how have I missed this guy? Like, he's good, and he's jacked, and he was moving. So, but I do agree with you from a character standpoint, he's the only one that I don't feel like I really understand his place in that group. Does that make sense? Am I off on that?
Yeah. No, that's right.
Right.
And then what's her face? B-Fab there.
Yeah, what's her face? Jade Cargill, the NXT Jade Cargill. Yeah.
I don't know. If she wrestles, it's the only way I can judge her and see how she is.
Yeah. But I think it was more of when she speaks, I think it was more because you know how Jade Cargill is very like egocentric, and I think that there was that similarity. That's why I say that she is. But
I can see that. I don't know. I'm starting to like it as far as its place in the show. I think it definitely makes part of the show feel different than the other parts of the show, and I think it's important.
It's a definite money faction, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. That brings us to the main event. North American Championship match, Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed. I'll start with Justin. What'd you think on this one, man?
Fucking awesome. Insane. I love how Bronson Reed, even though he's a big guy, he sells for little guys like it's nothing. Like, it's amazing. Bronson Reed to me is just awesome. Like, I'm so happy he won the North American title. I feel like we've been waiting for this moment for a while now.
We've been saying it for months on the show, have we not, Amanda?
Yeah. Mm-hmm, we have.
For months, we've been saying, when are we going to get him with the NXT title? or not the NXT title, the North American title. That's what we've been saying since that fucking what was it, that Fatal 5-Way or whatever, to find a number one contender. We're like, just give him the title. What is he doing? Like,
But even before that, though. Yeah, I mean, it was probably, I'd say, even 2 months before, because that was at Takeover, right? The 5-Way. Yeah.
It was one of the takeovers. Yeah.
So yeah, we were seeing it even before then, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I mean, what do you think of the match overall? They definitely did.
It just felt like Johnny's time with the title was up, and it was time to move it on.
Yeah.
And they did it.
That's
in a
no hatred
way,
to Johnny Gargano, but
yeah,
as I like Johnny Gargano, but it was time to move that title on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Here's my fear going into the match is, with as much as they put over Johnny Gargano as being like their absolute best wrestler in the history of time, I didn't know how much the match would serve a Gargano or a Bronson Reed by barely squeaking by a win over Gargano, especially because he's been fucking stomping everybody on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the reason you build a Gargano as being an unbeatable force the way that they do is that you have someone like a Bronson Reed who finally shows up and steamrolls them, and now you've made a star because you have a guy who has been a thorn in everybody's side just get absolutely crushed. It makes somebody big, right? But I was thinking, if they have this big back and forth, it's going to do more for Gargano to look like he's hard to beat than it will look like Bronson Reed looking like someone who can beat anybody, and how you can get the title off of him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? What I was surprised with and happy with is so much of this match was using the cage itself, was using Austin Theory, was using shitty little tactics, was Gargano realizing he wouldn't have enough time and having to readjust. It really made it look like Gargano was doing everything he could to use everything except for his wrestling ability to try to get one over on Bronson.
Yeah.
Because he knew the leverage was on Bronson's side. Which I thought was awesome, because this is the perfect match for this. This is a way that protects Gargano's integrity as a badass wrestler, but also highlights that Bronson Reed could have steamrolled him in any other match. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. One of my favorite spots was when the cage door slammed and smushed Austin Theory. I thought it was hilarious. I was dying. But there was a lot of really great that I thought that Johnny, the way, actually both of them, him and Bronson Reed, it's just the way they used the cage. It was almost like this is a 3-way and the cage is, like defending itself. It's not like, oh, okay, when you see most cage matches. So I thought that was really interesting that it had that work of it. And then of course you have Austin Theory that's kind of trying to, do his thing.
Yeah, 100%. The way that Bronson Reed was like squishing Gargano against the cage and stuff. Another thing I noted, which I thought was fucking phenomenal, was Johnny did not kick out of one of the tsunamis. He lost to one tsunami. And Gargano has a history of kicking out of people's finishers 2 or 3 times. It's going to take more than that. But with Bronson, it was one tsunami, it was done. And I was like, yes, put over that move, because every time we see it, we fucking hold our chest, because it never looks like it's not crushing someone's skeleton. You know what I mean?
Yeah, technically it was 2, because remember he did the one to his back when he fell off and he hit him. He did one to his back and then immediately went up and hit one right on him the right way. And but he didn't. But he stayed down on it, and I was so happy to see that.
He stayed down and he didn't kick out of any of them, which I thought was amazing. Because it put it over. It put over the tsunami as like a fucking thing. So that means when someone finally kicks out of the tsunami, it's gonna be fucking unbelievable. You know? And I think a guy like Bronson needs that protection. He is such a special guy. The fact that he got so emotional with the win, we were talking about it before. Tuesday, I believe. talking about the win of Natty and Tamina, them crying when they got the tag titles and it being so legitimate. Dominic and Ray being so emotional when they won. This is another one where it's like it's really easy to buy in and believe when you know it means something to the people in the ring. And this is one of those moments where you knew that it meant an awful lot to Bronson, and it made it mean even that much more to us, you know?
Absolutely. Like when I tweeted about it, I felt like it's really good when like the good people and people who just are like extremely like, I mean, all of them work hard. Some harder than others, but when you see good people and you see that kind of genuine reaction, I mean, it gives me the feels. And I think that, that was very special. I really hope that they don't take the belt off of him really quickly. I really hope that he has it for a little bit. Yeah. But who knows?
I think he needs to hold it for a while.
Yeah, because the next person I see that would probably take it off of him and would actually legitimately kick out of the tsunami is your buddy, L.A. Knight. Yeah.
I thought of that too.
Yeah.
He's the only person I can imagine.
Yeah.
I know. I thought about that too. Well, like, how are we getting 2 weeks no night?
I was waiting for him to come down the aisle. Bronson's all, him to come, let me tell you something. I was waiting for that.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
100%.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get that next week.
Maybe. Here's the thing, though, is LA Knight's the only person I could think of who I could see taking that title off of Bronson.
Yeah.
No one else makes sense. Maybe Dexter Lumis, maybe, but he's in this like
that doesn't seem
childish story, right?
No. What's he gonna do?
But here's the deal: is I don't want LA Knight to beat Bronson Reed yet.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I want that months away. I'd rather see LA Knight with like a world championship. Like just move past him. I want to see LA Knight with like the world title, and then see Bronson Reed move on from the NXT title or the North American title, and say I want that NXT championship, and then to see that match between Bronson and LA Knight, and I could see Bronson taking it there and LA Knight going on his way, you know. But I mean, I could see a lot of things.
Yeah, I think NXT's missing him in the last 2 weeks. You're satisfying me more than words can say with Cameron Grimes, but the icing and the cherry on top of the icing is LA Knight. Sorry, I didn't do it right.
Yeah. Do the fingers.
Yeah.
100%.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with him right now, but yeah, they've got a stacked roster. I mean, that's all it comes down to is everyone they have top to bottom in there. You just go like, how is this person not a champion? Like, how do you? I mean, no wonder a company has 11 championships. You have everyone who deserves one. Like, but,
and then when you have people like 6 year senior in high 6 year senior Johnny Gargano, and then you have, but I like what Chump's doing right now with Thatcher, so I wouldn't trade that for anything. But when you have someone like Johnny, it's like, well, okay, well, what do you do now?
Yeah, why does he
can't
need a
send
title?
him
What does that
up?
do for
I
anybody?
mean,
yeah.
I mean, theory go for the tag titles.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, was there anything else from the show that you thought we did not hit on?
No, just the lack of LA Knight. And
was that who was the woman who came out into the ring with Bronson?
That's his wife.
Okay. I just wasn't sure. I thought maybe, but I didn't know. And sometimes sometimes they bring out like sisters and stuff. So
no. That was his wife.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So good. Yeah, and that emotional ending, the fireworks, and how sick was the cage setup? It was all like flat up against the wall or against the ceilings. And as it came down, it almost like reverse butterflied into position. I was like, that's how you set up a fucking ring.
And I was like, Tony Khan, you need to borrow more money from your dad, because that was cool. That was just awesome. That's
when I saw that too, I was all like, I hope Tony's watching.
Yeah, well, he is.
Yeah.
Come on Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, Tony, you better be watching. You need one of those.
A cage that folds into whatever origami. Yeah. I don't know. I don't do Tony Khan very well. That's your thing, Marsh.
Yeah.
10 days. 10 days from now.
No,
10 days
10.
on Dynamite.
At least he graduated.
Yeah. He added an extra day on there. That works.
I know, right? I'm like, oh, guess 9 days isn't good enough anymore.
I mean, Bishop had to be the wise ass because freaking Marsh was doing the 9 days thing, and then freaking Bishop had to add +1 bottom.
What? But that's just how I imagine Tony Khan announces any days. If someone's like, "Hey, how many days until a thing?" Like, and even if it's 2 days, he'd be like, 2 days, 2 days from today. Doesn't matter.
No.
That's just how he says things.
So if he has to announce something for like a year, does that mean he actually says just a year, or does he yell out 365 days?
365 days from today.
He probably does.
All right. Is there anything you think you guys missed before we do last call?
No.
No.
I can't think of anything. I mean, not a lot to say. There's a lot of, shocking news, not so shocking news. You can figure out which ones I'm talking about. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all sounds good to me. Amanda, tell people where they can find you.
Well, you can you can't find me here in my secret location, but you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ms. Amanda Jane with a Y.
And just in time, curator of the IWC, the dawn of this side of the IWC. How can people find you, Justin?
You can find me on Twitter at JustinTime211.
Do you have anything coming up?
No, actually.
Have you been on Good Cop, Bad Cop yet?
Yeah, just that one time so far.
All right.
They're talking about putting names in like a raffle, like putting names all together and doing like a redraw. So we're gonna end up doing like different people. So we're gonna get to go on with extra people, like different people, which will be awesome.
Yeah. That'd be neat. It was a fun show. I was on Good Cop, Bad Cop. I believe it was their last week's episode. I don't remember all the days they put out episodes. Is it twice a week or once?
Just once. It's Sundays. They usually come out with it.
Sundays? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just catch it when I catch it. I don't listen to everybody's thing.
I think
I'm pretty busy lately.
We should make you watch Double or Nothing. We should do a watch along.
Maybe we will.
Because if somebody were to come out in an outfit that was, Dreamy Sigh, you could see the live reaction. Oh, God, that would be money. That's money.
It's a good point. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, if someone saw me, just I
think I got enough of it from last night with the whole. I still can't get over Ricky Starks in his sexy little suit, and I'm like, yep, she's having a moment.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was funny because one of my Twitter friends was like, "Your boy's on." I go, "Oh, I know."
Boy, is he ever.
Yeah.
Well, we are at WOTR, the show. This is Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show. So we will be back on Tuesday for episode 1 again. Guys, I'm at Ref Marsh. You can find us wherever you find your podcasts. You can find us at WrestlingOnRocks.com for all of our links, all of our shows. Do me a favor, guys, if you like wrestlers talking old school stuff, Pro Wrestling for Life with Sean X-Pac Waltman, Pro Wrestling for Life, his new podcast. I'm part of the editing team, and I'm working with them. So the more you support them, the more it supports me as well. So I appreciate it if you guys give them the old like and follow as well. Plus, he's probably a little bit more interesting, and he's sober, so different from us. So, guys, I think that's last call. What do you say?
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's last call. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.